Big up, chat. What is going on? Big up, big up, big up. Woo! Sorry I'm late. Thank you for not being too overly critical or cooking me in the group in the chat, because guys, I'm running a solo show. I'm running fucking multiple streams at a time, and I forgot to do the lights here too as well. I'll probably fix up the other one later if someone else shows up, but it is what it is. I'm solo, and we have potentially another watch along after this for the England and the Mexico-England game. So keep an eye out, chat. Please try to inform me as to what's going on with the weather delay, because we're gonna lock in on the show today, because we have a lot to talk about and plenty to discuss on today's show. Chat, if you haven't already done so, if you're new here, guys, smash up the like button. It helps out the channel tremendously. Be sure to also check out the links in the description below for more content. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, because we are trying to get to 5K subscribers. You guys have been killing it on the watch-alongs in terms of liking the video and all that fun stuff. So let's keep it up. Let's keep the momentum going. And yeah, big up to every single one of you as for, you know, the support and stuff. And again, doing all these streams and setting them up and stuff with such a limited amount of time is very, very difficult. So I thank you for understanding. I'm trying my best to keep up with it, as far as I am losing sleep as well. So yeah, I hope you guys do appreciate it. But so definitely would appreciate if you guys would smash up the like and all that fun stuff, because it helps out. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show today, and we'll start off with the first story of today's show, which is going to be in regards to Michael Emenalo. So for those of you who may or may not remember, Michael Emenalo is a former Chelsea director under Roman Abramovich a while ago, about over a decade ago now, and now he is currently, or was currently, the technical director, or the player acquisition center of excellence for Saudi Pro League, or chief football executive for Saudi Pro League. You know what? I'm gonna just stop waffling and just read the goddamn tweet, because that actually explains it all. So here it is for you guys to see and read. Yeah, Michael Emenalo is leaving his role as chief of football, as executive of Saudi Pro League. The former Chelsea technical director, who is also leaving his position as head of the league's Pro Acquisition Center of Excellence, departs at the end of a 3-year contract, having arrived in 2035. The former Nigerian international is now keen to be closer to his family, with interests already registered from clubs in Europe. Wow, I can't read today, chat. This might be a problem for me today. It's lack of sleep really affects you. But yeah, chat. So yeah, Emenalo, it's going to be interesting to see what his future is going to hold. I mean, I think he was pretty much responsible for all these accusations of the Ronaldos of the world, and you know, the Ruben Neves and all those swath of talents that came from the Premier League to Saudi. So interesting to see where his career takes him. Obviously, he's former Chelsea, so that's why we're tracking this story and getting it in front of you. But you know what, Emenalo, you had a good legacy. I think we don't appreciate what we got till it's gone, and now we have the directors that we have, and we look at the directors we used to have, and Emenalo being one of them. No, he's not gonna go to Strasbourg. Let's calm down. That would be cool, but yeah, no, it's not going to happen. He's not going to want to work under Blueco, and I don't think Blueco want to hire anyone associated with the old regime. So there's that aspect of it as well. So I just close my eyes just to make sure I know exactly where I'm pointing this thing. But yeah, that would be a step down for him. Yeah, of course. So yeah, he wouldn't want to work for Blueco, and Blueco wouldn't want him working for us. So it is what it is. But Emenalo, man, a name we haven't heard from in a very long time. So big up to him, and interesting to see. I thought he would be settled and happy. We're in his position at as like the talent director and the Saudi league, but yeah, I guess family calls, and I've always told you guys family is pretty fucking important. So family will dictate a lot of things in this career. So yeah, big up to him, and we'll see where that his career takes him now. The next story for you guys that I had here is a follow-up to a very upsetting story from Ecuador. And that's in regards to the future of Kendry Paez. Now, if you guys were watching the game against Mexico, Kendry Paez was brought in for charity minutes at the end of the match because Ecuador were quite desperate to bring on anyone and anything that would make a difference to the game. And Paez has been a player that has been under a lot of scrutiny because of his career choices and all these things. And today is no different, ladies and gents. So, breaking from June 19th chat. I've been saving it for a while. I figured I'd slide it into this show. Kendry Paez could be set for a fresh start in Belgium, with KV Michelin emerging as frontrunner to secure Chelsea-owned Ecuadorian midfielder on loan following his departure from River Plate. Discussions between Chelsea and the Belgian side are reportedly at an advancing stage. I'm sorry, I just got distracted for a second. Reportedly in an advancing stage as Paez looks to revive his development after difficult spells at RC Strasbourg and River Plate. Difficult spells, brother, because it's been your own fault. It's 1-800 your fault. Oh, there you go. Okay, players need to be taking accountability for their careers, and Paez is no exception. The kid just wants to party hardy and do nothing else. And I've seen it happen too often with Peruvian players. And I'm sure Chileans have the similar issue. Bad habits. Exactly. Marshall, shave your beard. You could be a doppelganger. What? Okay, anyways. So, yeah, bad habits. Exactly. And I've seen it happen too many times with players not taking their careers seriously. I don't know if it's just an American thing in terms of like Central South American, but yeah, it just happens. It happens. You look at, you can't like, Paez probably thinks he has the talent of Dino without having the work of Dino. Because Dino is the only player off the top of my head I can think of can get away with having bad habits off the pitch, the drinking and partying. But when it came to turning up for the game, he was one of the greats. He was one of the greats. And Paez, you're not that guy. This guy wants to bag all the hoes and the baddies and do all the drinking and partying it up and has nothing to show for it. Brother, the fact that you're back in River Plate after coming back from Europe should be a wake-up call. And I hope it is for this kid. He's still young. Chat. Hazard too? Exactly. Chat, let's look up how old this guy is. Let me look it up real quick. I think he's only 21. Kendry Paez. He is 19 years old. Not even 21. Brother, at 19, you had such a promising future. And this is what's happening. So, again, I think he really needs to look himself in the mirror. I think he needs someone to put a hand over his shoulder, arm over his shoulder, not hand, and just fix up, bro. Fix up, because you have such potential. And you're not living up to it. Look what happened to Adriano. I personally don't know Adriano's story that well, so you can enlighten me, TMCFC. Big up Regis to get. Big up everyone in the chat. Smash up the like on your way in. Helps out the YouTube algorithm big time. Hey, listen, I'm giving you guys 3 streams. That's 8 hours worth of stream today. So please, if you can go ahead and smash up that like. It would mean the world to me because I'm putting in this much effort and I really want to make sure that it doesn't go for granted, chat. Okay? But yeah, Kendry Paez, man. It's a shame. There's a good talent there. We've seen glimpses of it, and now just the way his future is going, it's just
Want me to cry?
yeah, it's sad. It's sad. So hopefully he turns it around. But yeah, big up, chat. Big up. Okay, let's move on to the next story I have for you guys, which is going to be regarding today's game. Now, like I said, chat, please inform me, keep me posted about what's going on with the game, and if we can push the scheduled date for the watch along an extra hour. As far as I know, it's still pretty much on for 8 p.m. my time. But yeah, if I have to push it back, let me know, and that gives me more time to go through the show as well. I can probably take my time because I do want to discuss a few more topics, and the next one being Reece James being fit for England. Let's talk about it. Anyways, because everyone was ready to talk shit. Everyone was ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and here we are. The baby is still in the bathwater. So Reece James is in contention to return for England versus Mexico's clash following positive injury update, according to TalkSport. Then we have here Reece James comments on recovering from the hamstring injury. It's okay. I'm feeling good. Chat, what did I tell you last time? Him coming off, him getting this injury per se, right, was just precautionary. It was just precautionary. It was just him feeling something, and he wanted to come off. I told you guys from the get-go. You don't get a fucking injury in your hamstring, which is minimum 4 weeks off, and recover in a week. It's not an injury. It's a precaution. The media wants to label it as injury to get clicks and views. It's not an injury. I think you better hope he doesn't play today. Listen, if he doesn't play today, we should still be good enough for England to advance. We'll see. You never know. The upsets have been up and up in this World Cup. So, listen, I hope he doesn't play. Be fully rested because the next round is against Norway, and he needs to be at his best. And the next round after that, chat, we're probably talking about Argentina in the semifinals, which that's a tough match. Look, it's possible that England can get to the finals, but they need to get it together. And tonight needs to be an improved football. Tonight, we'll be watching it tonight, chat, in the watch-along in the next stream after this. We'll make sure to actually redirect to that one. In fact, let me do that right now. And while I'm doing that, chat, one more time as a little reminder, and I have to put subscribers only. Chat, as a little reminder, be sure to smash up that like button, please. Because, again, I've lost sleep. I got 3 streams in a row. We just did a watch along, and we're doing this one. And I got another stream after that. So that's about 2 hours. This one's about a 3-hour stream. That's like 7 hours of streaming and not enough time to do it all. So please be sure to smash that like button because it's the bare minimum we could do to show appreciation that we're giving you guys the content. So big up, big up. But yeah. No. England should go on and win it. That's what I think should happen. I don't necessarily... Listen, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. He's not going to get hurt. He's fit. He's shown he's fit. He feels good. Guys, he didn't get hurt. He just stayed off because he wants to play it safe. Reece is smart with his body this time. Okay? Reece is smart with his body. And we can't be selfish. At the end of the day, I, as Tuchel being one of my favorite managers, want Tuchel to win this so he can prove the haters wrong. And so you can prove that, you know, I want Reece James to win the World Cup. Let's just be honest, guys. I want Reece to win the World Cup. Because Reece missed out in the last World Cup and it devastated him. It absolutely devastated him. He nearly, risked his body just to make it to that World Cup. And he had to be told he can't. And I'm sure that spiraled him into a world of depression where we talked about how his mental health was affected from all the injuries he was going through, what he missed out on, and that was part of it. For Reece, I want him to win this World Cup. I want there to be no absolute argument as to who the best right back in football is. And I want it to be Reece James. Now, if he wins a Euros after that, even better. But imagine Reece James wins a UCL, wins a World Cup, Bro, what the fuck is the Euros to him after that? You know what I'm saying, chat? So I want Reece to get all the plaudits. I want Reece to be in all the conversations. And the only way to do that, chat, is for him to be fit to do these things, like be at the World Cup. So I'm not with this whole I want England knocked out of the World Cup so Reece can come back home. Listen, I want Reece to win it all and be the best right back in the world. That's my agenda. That's all I'm asking for. But if he stays fit, which I'm trusting that he will stay fit because he knows his body, so be it. He stays fit and he wins the World Cup. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for Chelsea fans. So that's the way I see it, chat. I know not everyone agrees. It is what it is. But, hey, we're here. He's fit. Everyone was worried. You guys fell for the journalist bait. I told you guys from the get-go that it's all just precautionary, that he knows his body. No one just gets a fucking injury to a hamstring and then recovers in, what, a week? It's not even been a week. So, again, a lot of people fell for the bait, and you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. You should know better. You should know better. That's not how injuries work. How do I turn off my ringer here? Oh, this is the ringtone. Okay, there you go. It's on vibrate now, chat. All right, cool. My phone needed to also... I hope Reece can feature again in this World Cup. He will. He will. Listen, I don't want him to play tonight. Rest him. Make sure he's 100% fit. And then you play him in the next round because I expect Mexico to lose. I didn't think much of Mexico going into this tournament. I still don't think much of Mexico. Obviously, they're better than what I thought, but England is just a much better team. I know this World Cup has been filled with upsets, but at the end of the day, you can play the ugly football, but as long as you get the results, that's all that matters, and that's what Tuchel does, right? That's what Tuchel's been known for. So, yeah, he's getting a full rest after tonight anyway. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, we'll see what happens, chat. But, yeah, that's the update with Reece James as well. So, good to see that he's fit and ready to go. He could be in contention to play tonight. Actually, I think the lineups are already out, right? The lineup should already be out. World Cup fixtures. England versus Mexico. Lineup. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. But also, while I'm here, I might as well check. Is this suspended yet? No word of a suspension yet of the game, chat. I'm trying to see if what the news is here. England versus Mexico, or whatever. Mexico versus England. The latest. Breaking: England to go ahead as scheduled according to FIFA World Cup. I don't know who this link is. We'll go ahead at 1 a.m. as planned after earlier extreme weather. Another update will be made if it changes, according to David Ornstein. Is he doing this on his own Twitter? Okay, he is. Okay. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'll be refreshing constantly to make sure we know. So that means I have to still get through the show, ladies and gents. We have plenty to go over. So let's continue on to the next story that I have for y'all, chat, which is going to be going over everyone's favorite, the Chelsea finances. It's not really the finances. It's more so the silly fines that Chelsea have had to hold with this whole entire FFP fiasco, as well as a few other things. Let me get a drink here. Bear with me, chat. It's different when I have to do this show solo, so it is what it is. All right, cool. Let's get into it. So, Chelsea should book over £300 million in TV money this season and are expected to be within domestic rules. Continuing on, Chelsea fined £2.5 million for breach of UEFA squad cost ratio. 1.7 million of the fines is conditional. Okay, we continue on. Nazar Gazella also saying here that Chelsea have been given a €3 million fine by UEFA for having a squad cost ratio above 70% of their revenue. However, an improving financial fixture is recognized, so €2 million of it is conditional on further improving the picture in 2026. And of course, The Athletic had to make a whole article about it, even though there's 3 other clubs that have breached the UEFA squad cost revenue to whatever. So here we are. Chelsea's ongoing struggle to comply with UEFA's financial rules has seen the club hit with another fine, albeit one much reduced from a year ago. Europe's football governing body announced on Tuesday the club had breached its squad cost ratio limit in 2025, resulting in a €3 million, £2.6 million fine, of which £2 million, £1.7 million is conditional. The latter element will become payable if Chelsea do not continue to significantly decrease their squad cost ratio figure in 2026. The monetary punishment doled out for Chelsea's 2024 transgression pales in comparison to those issued to them by UEFA last summer, when the club was found to have breached both the SCR limit and UEFA's separate football earnings rule, which restricts overall losses at clubs competing in Europe. Chelsea's failure to comply with the SCR limit in 2024 resulted in an €11 million fine, £9.5 million fine. Their football earnings breach cost them a further €20 million, £17.2 million, alongside a threat of an increasing to a total of €80 million, £69 million. And that requirement to enter a 4-year settlement agreement, whereby losses are more tightly monitored and restrictions applied to registering players by UEFA competition. A breach of the agreement will see Chelsea banned from Europe for a year. Now, I bring this up. Wait, what does it say? The Athletic isn't giving the thorough representation of how and why Chelsea were fined based on past misinterpretations by Roman Abramovich, forcing the club to go into a settlement agreement with UEFA, which imposed certain conditions and financial limitations on the club for a span of 4 years. Not entirely sure. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that was part of it as well. That's actually a good point from that comment right there. So yeah, they're not going to cancel the game. So yeah, after the game in the night, as per weather, wow, I love the well-run post-Roman Chelsea. Yeah, well, it's not well-run, but there is being context left out that punishment for the Roman thing is playing a part in it. But chat, here's the thing. This is why I criticize Blueco for, one, not having a front of shirt sponsor. There's no reason to not have a front of shirt sponsor. The front of shirt sponsor should have been done, and that mitigates the losses, right? Why aren't we advancing quickly on stadium plans? Why is it that Earl's Court came and went? And it keeps getting brought up by the journalists. I don't know why. I don't know what they think that fans don't know. Like, if we don't read the news, or if we're not on Twitter, or if we're not aware, but like, we're all well aware that Earl's Court is gone. Like, that's done. It's washed. It's finished. Finito. Yet we're still made to believe that that is still part of the plans. So yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, but regardless of that, money is being left on the table. So when money is being left on the table, it's hard to garner sympathy from fans about, oh, well, we want to get Bruno Guimaraes. Oh, we want to get Olise. Oh, we want to get the best of the best, Kvara. But they have to abide by our wages, and we just can't afford it. The money's not there. Even the Xhaka situation to an extent, even though I'm not going to pay over £30 million for the player. But regardless, the fact that you're trying to be money pinching and cheapskate about it because you don't have the finances, it's hard to feel sympathy for these things when you're self-inflicting them on yourself. You're the reason that there's fines from UEFA, from FFP. That's on you, brother. Because you realize the debt that you are acclimating. You have accountants that do all the math for you, that do all this work for you, only for you to not be responsible with the way you're loaning out some of these players and the way you're hoarding some of these players without selling, right? You're being cheap in regards to the figures that you may want from certain players. I'm not saying, for example, drop Enzo down from 120 to 60 mil because we need to get rid of him and he wants to move to Madrid and whatever. I'm not telling you to be that. But even some of these evaluations that for players that we're selling, like $75 million for Gusto. Brother, I'm not telling you to sell him for 30, but at least be reasonable. At least try to sell him for 40, 50. It's okay to take some losses as long as it mitigates some of the losses that we're taking already because of UEFA and the fines. I'm not saying, pay over the odds for these players, but at the same time, get your shit fixed up so that you can actually pay decent money for these players. Fix up on the front of shirt sponsor, which I think they're finally realizing, oh shit, we should take this sponsorship with HP because we're going to lower our front of shirt sponsor asking price because no one is paying it. For the past 4 fucking years that you've had it, for the price that you had it at, no one was willing to pay it. You ever wonder why? And you got rid of what? Chris Jurassic and what? 2 or 3 other people for it? I wonder why. So again, it's just ridiculous for me, chat, to feel sympathy. And I know you guys feel the same way for the ownership and the whole FFP situation when they're being the makers of their own demise by asking and not budging on some ridiculous prices that they're asking for some of the players, right? For leaving money on the table in terms of FFP, or not FFP, front of shirt sponsorship, in terms of stadium revenue plans, which I understand that's not going to be something that happens overnight. I understand that you have the Chelsea pitch owners to deal with, but at least give them an idea. Put the ball in their court, because at the end of the day, chat, if they say no, then Blue Coat can just be like, hey, guys, we proposed an idea for a stadium, but you guys are making it so that we can't make it happen. Also, chat, I need to see if something works. Okay, this does work. Okay. You're the ones that are not allowing it to happen, right? So at least you could blame the Chelsea. Like, you guys love not taking accountability. So you could at least put out a plan and say, all right, CPO, it's on you now. And if the CPO say no, you could say, well, we tried, and the CPO said no. Since you just love not taking accountability and blaming other people. But you haven't even done that. So, again, it's very difficult to feel sympathy for the ownership when they're leaving money on the table. It's very difficult to leave sympathy for the owner in terms of what players they can and can't sign. But as Chelsea fans, the only thing I say when it comes to these signings is I try to tell you guys, understand the situation that we are in. Understand that we put ourselves in this situation. Well, the ownership put ourselves in this situation, and that explains a lot of the reason why these signings aren't coming in, the reasons why they're trying to be cheap about certain things and certain players. It's all part of the plan, but it's all part of the mess that they've made, which I'm not letting Chelsea get away with, obviously. And Ahmed, big up to you. Where we were just talking about the lovely Chelsea finances, which is everyone's favorite topic.
We are financially. I can hear you, Marshall. It's like a weird thing because it's me. No, I can't hear you. Okay, I can't hear you now. It's all good. But as I was saying, man, we are fucked, man. Like, financially, it's not looking good, bro. I'll be honest. No, it's not looking good. Like, this. For me, like, the Andre Santos news is terrible news in my personal opinion. It's absolutely horrific news.
We'll talk about that for sure.
That's absolutely bad, horrific news, bro. When you considering a number of factors, but the fact that it's alleged that you have to do this partially because of a financial problem is a big problem, Marshall. We're not even selling for any other reason. I'm kind of like sick and tired of people blaming the CPO, as I've said multiple times on the stream. It is not these guys. Yeah. No, not you personally. I know you. I know that. But I'm talking. Yeah, but like the guys that always love to cook the CPO. Guys, the CPO have received nothing. They haven't received anything, and I think it's very wrong of us to even comment on that, man. At the end of the day, I think fundamentally, guys, finance-wise, it's clear they don't want to pump in more money into the club, and they're just trying to do the sell to buy, right? At least I think last season, the one thing that worked was that they were clearly putting money into the transfer window. But they knew they could get money back from like the player sales, right? I think a good thing to point out is the 6th of July. Now, I know a lot of teams haven't sold any players as well. I'm going to give them a little bit of like objectivity here. But at the same time, guys, we're just negotiating for Chalobah right now, right? And maybe you've had a little bit of rumble about Tosin. We've only sold Tariq George right now, right? Everyone else that of the bomb squad, we have had pipsqueak about, boys. Now you can say maybe after the World Cup shit stuff is gonna happen, guys.
Hopefully.
We're in the quarterfinals, guys. Okay, we're about to hit the quarterfinals now. There's not that many teams remaining in the World Cup.
In what, 1.5 weeks?
It's gonna basically end in 1.5 weeks. Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is that this is the World Cup has already ended for like almost 60% of the clubs, bro, of the country teams. Okay, so any of this nonsense about the World Cup affecting now transfers, I think it's kind of rubbish. Yeah, unless you're trying to get an Argentinian, a Brazilian, and stuff like that. I don't, obviously Brazilian not now, but obviously Argentinian, maybe an Englishman, stuff like that. But no, everyone else is basically still is available for you to buy or sell. So I don't know what's going on. And I've said, this is one thing I will add on a personal note that I want to say to the club specifically. And I said this when the season ended. You have to accept you're not going to be able to make a profit on all of these failed projects, guys. Okay? Accept the fact that you're not going to be able to sell Badi Show, in particular, Fafana, everyone else, for the right amount of money that you want to. You're going to have to take some of these L's. It's as simple as that.
It's better to take a minor L than to just have these players go on a free or just be stuck with them and their wages. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's better to move money than have money be stagnant. That's the way I look at it. And,
I agree.
And that's why I was saying earlier, chat, you can feel bad for the situation that Chelsea are in and all that jazz, but at the end of the day, they put themselves in this situation. You could be understanding of it in terms of like the signings and why we can't go for certain players, why we can't pay certain fees and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, they put themselves in this situation from being stingy about getting rid of players, from being stingy about the prices they're asking for some of these players. Like, I'll be shocked if next season Malo Gusto is still here, even though you're willing to sell him, there's interest for him. If you're not willing to sell him because you really are stuck on the price of £75 million, that's ridiculous from the club, because you know he's not worth £75 million. But if you're so desperate to earn that money back because of the errors you guys made, then that's on you, and that's on you.
The irony is, Gusto got sold for 30 million. So anything above 30 million is a profit for you. He's only on 45k a week. That's basically a total like around about 2-3 million extra that you have to pay for under the contract. So anything above that, you're making profit. So like, I'm not even saying for Gusto, like, I think you can sell Gusto for 70 million. That's just my personal view of that. I've said that already, right? But some of these other guys, this is why I said we have to tell some of these guys that we can sell for profit. We need to sell them for profit. But we have to know we're selling these guys for profit so that they can, negate the losses we're gonna make for some of these other guys. We're gonna have to sell. That's what it is. I don't understand why the club does not understand. That's a very solid and easy logic to do.
100%. So it's just, again, like, I think from a financial standpoint, the club is making way too many mistakes to have it not be incompetence at this point. Like, I don't know. So we'll see. There's still plenty of window to go for them to sell these players, but I'm starting to worry, and I was saying this in the watch along chat, I'm starting to worry that we're prioritizing selling players that are just going to sell versus selling players that need to be sold. And when we already have a flimsy project, making it more flimsy just makes it more difficult for Xabi Alonso to do anything with this project. And that's what worries me. Let's continue on, because there's still plenty more to talk about. And apparently England is going to go as scheduled, which I don't want to hold up too many people from that one, as well as myself, because I want to be able to do the watch along. So Arthur gets a job, chat. Oh, look at you. Happy for you, my friend.
You got a job?
And Arthur got a job. Yep. Arthur got a job. That's an episode probably too from Arthur itself. But
oh my
god. Former Chelsea head coach Liam Rosenior has given his agreement to join Paris FC on a 2-year contract, according to Santi JFM. And Fabrizio Romano breaking the news here, the Bamba brand. Liam Rosenior in official talks with Paris FC over 2-year contract to replace Antoine Combiare as new head coach. Negotiations underway with details to be sorted. An extra year option ahead of the agreement. Deal on, as Santi JFM as well as Footy Mercado have reported. Santi J, I'm sure, from Footy Mercado. But yeah, I didn't expect this to happen anytime soon. I thought he would pull a Graham Potter and just take a little bit of hiatus, but I mean,
still see more ice. Sorry. sorry. That just threw me.
This guy. I mean, I can't really blame him for taking the Chelsea job and being placed in that situation. And again, I still stand by, like, there's still a potential really good manager there, but he was put in an environment that was way too toxic and way too big for his shoes to fill. Way too big. Like, we already heard the news, which I'll give you the platform to express your thoughts on the whole Maresca thing next. But, like, we already saw what happened, chat. We talked about it on the Casually Chelsea Hour, the Chelsea Hour. What happened with Maresca? As soon as he left, a lot of these players down tools. And so when you're left to work with that, and you're a nobody with a hairline like that, I'm just saying, it's hard to gain respect. No one respected him. He was a supply teacher, or a substitute teacher, according to a lot of these, pundits saying what the players were saying. But yeah, still not confirmed, which was my mistake. I thought it was confirmed, but apparently he's gonna go to Paris FC. Is that a good job?
I mean, the guy's got a lot of money in that Paris FC, the owner, so they can spend money.
Wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Which is pretty good. But like, listen, let's be honest. Hopefully, this helps him regain the reputation. We can criticize him for some stuff at Chelsea, obviously from a tactical perspective, right? Yeah. But the players fucked him, guys. Let's just be honest, yeah. After what we've had and seen everything, I think it's objectively true that the players fucked him, guys. Okay, and fuck the players with that in my personal opinion of that, because that's not fair on him. Because I think a lot of people were thinking, oh no, it was his fault. He's washed. He's a bum and everything like that. And the game's changed. Now, the one thing I will say is that obviously I think this job's going to be a bit more easier. They're probably just looking for mid-table, less pressure. So I think he'll be all right on this one, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I look forward to see what he can do.
Yeah.
I'm saying is going to look very suspect if he starts doing well on that job, and then from a Chelsea perspective, that's what I'm going to say.
And I think he will. That's the thing. I think it's gonna unveil a lot of like nasty things that weren't unveiled, in this whole fiasco with him taking over, the things that stayed behind closed doors and all that stuff. Because again, you could say that as a coach, he naturally likes team control. He needs to stick to mid-table team, if we are being honest. The thing is, he came into a really, really disgusting environment.
Kickoff, what delayed?
Kickoff delayed for an hour. Fun. I have Ornstein here. Let me just refresh this. 23 minutes ago, nothing from Ornstein. So...
Yes, it's been confirmed. CFC Day just reported it. It's 2 a.m.
Okay, fair enough. That gives me more time to go over this show then. But big up, chat. Big up. Thank you for informing me, chat. I appreciate it. But yeah. So it's, again, I always said from the beginning when he came in, Ahmed can attest, I think there's a good manager in there, but I think the job was always too big for him. And it ended up being that case. And not even that, it ended up being worse. It ended up being the case that a lot of the players did not respect him. A lot of the players down tools as soon as Maresca left. They just wanted to fight for UCL. And as soon as UCL was off the table, they all just down tools and said, fuck it, there's nothing to do with the season. I don't respect the school teacher. And then they moved on. And, all of it kind of revealed in the next segment, which might as well just move on to it. Maresca the Snake, all right? Never thought in my life I'd say this, but at the end of the day, the guy's a piece of shit. The guy's an absolute piece of shit. And I went over all this on the Chelsea Hour, so I'm not going to go too deep into this. In fact, I don't even know if it's really worth me reading much of a lot of what's going on. But just for the sake of giving context, I'm going to at least read the club statement, okay? And then the Maresca statement and the Man City statement. And then the Marcio stuff. And then, Ahmed, I would love to hear your take on all this. Because the chat, obviously, haven't seen you since... this all happened, and I'm sure they'd like to see what you have to say. Maybe agenda, maybe, objectiveness, but we'll find out soon. So, just to recap, chat, Maresca essentially came out with a statement, City came out with a statement, the settlement's been done, and Maresca has been announced at Man City. Chelsea came out with a statement. Chelsea FC appreciates the 25-26 season was hugely a disappointing one for the club and its supporters. A major contributing factor was the disruption caused as a result of changes that the club was forced to make to head coach position over the Christmas period. Due to recent developments, we consider that it is important to explain to our supporters what happened and why our former head coach left the club on the 1st of January 2026. In autumn last year, the club was informed by our former head coach that there might be an opportunity for him to succeed Pep Guardiola at the end of the season. It became clear to us that it was his strong desire to succeed Guardiola and that he was fully committed to pursuing the opportunity, despite the fact that he was under a long-term contract which he had no right to terminate. In December 2025, our head coach unexpectedly and abruptly resigned from his position. Obviously, we felt let down as we believed that his heart and head were focused on another club and another opportunity, despite having just arrived at Chelsea the year before. No club wants to change the head coach midway through a season. However, in light of his decision not to continue fulfilling his responsibilities, though, through the end of the season, the club was left with no choice but to protect our players, our supporters, our badge, and accept his resignation.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Bullshit on that, but anyways, in the circumstances and given the mutual respect between clubs, a confidential settlement has been reached with Man City, which includes payment of compensation. A confidential settlement has also been reached with former head coach, under which he will pay compensation. Man City probably paying that. And also crazy how Blue Coats still make money. It's crazy. I gotta respect that. That's hustle right there. Looking forward to next season in Xabi Alonso, we have a manager who has exceptional football mind and is a professional at the highest integrity. He has all the attributes to deliver success the club's supporters deserve and expect. I agree with that. We do deserve success. Moving on to Enzo's part of this. He came out at the same day, at the same time, with his own declaration here. At the end of December 2025, I made a difficult decision to leave Chelsea. The decision was only mine. My resignation from Chelsea opened a path for me to join Man City, which is a club I knew very well. I am ecstatic that I have now joined Manchester City. I recognize that my departure from Chelsea in the middle of the season caused disruption for the club, and I apologize for that. It was neither my intention nor my wish. I was treated well by everyone at Chelsea, and together we achieved great success and memories that I will always treasure. I am grateful to the club, the owner, and the owners, and the fans for giving me the opportunity. And then City's statement following. We confirmed that confidential conversations took place between select representatives of City and Enzo Maresca in autumn and winter of 2025, while he was Chelsea FC's head coach, regarding the possibility of him returning to City in a transitional leadership coaching capacity should Pep Guardiola decide to leave. We acknowledge Chelsea's statements regarding the context of Enzo's departure from Chelsea. We also acknowledge the context in which permission for discussions was given, and we recognize that his departure mid-season was disruptive to Chelsea's season. Once terms were agreed with Enzo Maresca, Man City and Chelsea FC reached a mutual settlement under which Chelsea FC will receive compensation. So, Man City admit fault, Maresca admit fault, and the last thing I wanted to show you guys, which I didn't actually get to show you in the Chelsea hour, was Di Marzio coming out defending the Italian outlet, also defending Maresca, obviously. So we'll get our opinions on this, whether we take any of it or believe it. But Chelsea's version of Enzo Maresca's exit. So this is DeMarcio's opinion. I smiled a little bitterly at Chelsea's reconstruction of events. They've imposed a version of the story that, as many will have understood, simply didn't happen that way. Chelsea are in a very particular situation where the manager cannot always operate with complete autonomy and independence. That was also the case with Enzo Maresca, who eventually reached a point where he felt the situation had become unbearable. The story has been twisted to allow Chelsea to come out of it looking clean in the eyes of the fans. But those who know what really happened understand the truth is not necessarily the one presented through the powers of a press release or money. So, obviously, I stated all these things, chat. I know that the working environments for Chelsea and Maresca weren't ideal. He wasn't necessarily backed the way he wanted to be backed, but that's not anything new for any manager. At the end of the day, you don't leave a club middle of the season the way you did and disrupt everything. You don't quit a job right up front unless you really want to fuck them over and they deserve to be fucked over. I don't think Chelsea deserved to be fucked over the way it did. Regardless, you're still putting your 2 weeks. You're still professional. And it is what it is. And the same thing goes for someone on the contract. I understand the circumstances, but you fucked us over for Man City. And apparently, according to your words, the only way you would have gotten the opportunity was if you snaked us. So, Ahmed, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But chat, almost 60 of you in here. Let's try to get 50 likes, please. That's the goal for today's stream. Let's get there. And I do appreciate all the work that you guys put into getting the likes and, accompanying us and talking about this. And we're going to talk about all the Santos and all the other stuff very soon. Trust me. But yeah, stick around while you guys wait for the England game to happen. But Ahmed, floor is yours, my friends. Floor is yours.
Yeah,
if you need me to go to any tweet, just let me know.
There's nothing to go over. I just think objectively, he started to work. City came in for him. He started working for them. That's the objective truth, by the way. City came in for him. He started working for them. And that is what happened. Now, again, I think Maresca knew deep down that they were never going to give him a centre back. I knew that, you knew that, the cat knew that. They were really bigging up Achempong. They wanted him to develop, etc., etc. Okay, so he knew that, we knew that, we all knew that. I think my issue with any of these type of discussions that we have is that essentially, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, but Maresca had every right to do that. That's not true. At the end of the day, Maresca is an employee of the football club, guys. Okay, he's an employee. He gets what he's given. Okay, Antonio Conte legit, got given what he was given, and you saw what he did for a whole season. Okay, a lot of these Italian guys are very temperamental figures. Okay, but he knew what he signed up for. That's the one thing I always repeat. You knew what you signed up for. They told him, mate, we're not going to change what we do. And he still signed up for that. Then City obviously comes in for him. He then basically gets the whiff that essentially you're guaranteed his job. But I feel like for him, what happened in his head now that I think about it is that I think he thought that he couldn't get a top four of this team. That's my objective truth. I'm of the belief that I think he thought he couldn't get a top four of this team, Marshall. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think that is the most logical scenario that in regards to why he more than likely left. That I think he believed that he couldn't get top four, the team that we currently had.
That could have been part of it.
Because you also have to look at the period in which the results started changing as well. The results clearly changed after what it seems to be the period in which City Caves started coming into and talk for him. We then obviously had that really bad November period that went into December, right? And for me, it was like at that time we were still like what? We were still within the top four range or in the top four, if I'm not mistaken. Like, we still had a lot of priority. But I think if he,
I think we were in fifth.
Yeah, but I think from his perspective, I think he thought, these guys may not come in for me if I don't finish in the top four. That's and that's my thoughts at the very least. I don't know. You can obviously disagree.
I have a different opinion than that. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I don't think that would be enough to make him just like jump ship because he's like, oh fuck, I might not make. Because last season he could have probably had that same argument. I think last season he was.
But they were not going to come in for him. I think the difference is last season. I think the argument I would make is that last season they were never going to come in for him because obviously
yeah,
that would confirmed.
of course.
And B, at the very least, you know, from what the reports were coming out of Chelsea, they weren't expecting top 4. Remember last season? So
yeah,
at least that's the argument that they were saying.
I think what the big reason he did it in the middle of the season was because, let's just say he finished off the season. There's no guarantee that he would be able to smoothly transition from leaving Chelsea to going to Man City, or that Chelsea would even negotiate or entertain Man City buying. Like Brighton, when we went in for Brighton, Graham Potter, Brighton didn't necessarily have anything to lose. They're like, oh, yeah, you want to give us this much money for Graham Potter? Yeah, that's fine. We'll do it. I mean, we'll just get another coach. No big deal. It's not like we're in Europe. It's not like whatever. Chelsea would probably argue like, no, we have a project here. We're building off of something really good that we have with him. They would have fought to keep him. I'm sure they would have. So him leaving when he did puts bad blood, it rubs them the wrong way. They made the season go really bad. They almost had no excuse but to try to terminate him and get rid of him because he's made it clear he's not going to work for them. So I think it just guaranteed that the contract got terminated versus Chelsea fighting to keep him and all that stuff. I think that's why he did it. I don't think
Chelsea would have fought. I don't think Chelsea would have fought to keep him. That's my opinion at the very least.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how the season ended. If the season ended horribly, then maybe the Man City job isn't even there either, like you were saying. So
I don't know, man. People keep saying Maresca would have made CL. I think that run that we went into under Maresca, and then what happened? Remember, last season we were saved because of Tariq George. Again, I think people forget that. By the way, we were not on to make top 4 unless Tariq George had his moment, and we. And the thing is, our bad run started since November, guys. Okay, which is something that I think we all forget about quite consistently.
Yeah, no, and I think people were hoping that Maresca would turn it around, honestly, and maybe he could have turned it around. He did turn it around last season. It's just, I don't know. It just the football was getting bad. Okay, the problem is now there's this lingering. Because it is really odd to see how we went from November, manager of the month, that ridiculous month in November where we looked really good and it looked like things were going to turn around for us in December, to having that horrible December period that was actually worse than his first one, and questionable choices and all that stuff. So whether he would have just crashed out, he was hoping to get fired. I don't know if you saw that too. He was hoping to get sacked, and that didn't happen.
That's why I'm saying, guys. It's very evident to me at the very least. He wasn't stuffing. So he got turned by City, and then I think he started to stop caring what was going on the pitch. That's what it seemed like to me. And like it's ironic that players were downing tools when he was the one down the tool. Very funny from the players, man. Very ironic.
Yeah. And listen, I know Killer AMC, I know it's very common for Chelsea to do bad in December, but just the way he went about it, the decisions that were made and all that stuff. Also, by the way, Chad, if you're just tuning in, the England game did get postponed an hour. So the watch along is also being postponed an hour as well. So yeah, that's for you guys to know if you're coming in asking. Do be sure to smash up the like button, please. But so I think he wanted to guarantee that he didn't have a job by the summertime, so that he was no excuses available for Man City.
No, but sorry, Marshall. Two things can be true. Everything I'm saying about Maresca can be correct, but at the same time, I think it would be fair in me saying that I was also wrong in saying that Rosenior was also going to turn around. That's where I was wrong, of course, and I can freely admit that. But I think but what I'm saying about Maresca is objectively true as well. It's just unfortunately the problem with Maresca is that I don't want to say we do a lot of revisionism on his period, but like if you look at it from an objective lens, his season got saved by literally Tariq George having a moment of brilliance. Genuinely, that's what it just came down to. If Tariq George,
I mean,
Marshall, we didn't win. That was
I know
the beginning of the
that's the
streak. That
beginning
last.
of the streak. Like, well, let's not pretend that that was the last game of the season. He needed that win. in
Marshall,
order to
if
get
we
top
did
four.
not beat Fulham in that game, we would not make him top 4. That's the thing people forget. That was what.
Yeah,
Is that not true?
Not necessarily, because
We lost the Newcastle game before that. No, we lost the Newcastle
Yes.
game before that. Jackson red card. This Fulham game was do or die. We don't win that. There's no top 4. And
But also remember what the PR that was coming out at the time was. We don't really expect to compete for top 4 this season. That Blueco was saying, and then next season they're going to be expecting to get top 4.
I understand that, but you and I both knew that wasn't true at the time because they were crying for money financially.
Yeah.
Financially,
But it was also another one, like again, like we could say, like, yeah, Tariq George saved the season. Tariq George could have scored that goal and Pedro Neto wins it, and then we'd lose the next game, like, because there was still plenty of games to go. I think the team overall started responding.
No, but I felt the reason why I make that comment is that the Tariq George goal was more than just equalizing. It was like a moment for, like, it made the team believe. That's why it was so important that he scored that goal. It wasn't about it was more than just the goal, if that makes sense. For at least that's the way I look at it. Like, it was like the thing that helped the what's it called, the team actually push forward.
Yeah, no, and I get that, but again, like, bullshit if Ray Wright doesn't make 4th and 29th, the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl. It's all part of it. It is all part of it, is what I'm trying to say. But again, I think I'm more inclined to believe that he just really wanted to make sure he didn't have a job by summer, so that he does take the job. And the worst part about it is it wasn't a guarantee. We didn't know if Pepe was going to leave or not until the end of the season. So this guy literally did
Big
all
up
that.
to Unique. Unique is right when he said the comment. The Tariq George, yeah, exactly. It was a mental thing with him. I agree. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I think the other thing that I want to just also mention, is that Maresca was not. Listen, no manager after one season, unless he wins like the Premier League or something, is getting a new contract and getting the keys. Unfortunately, let's be real, guys. Okay, we know what the type of institution we have at Chelsea Football Club. He knew he knew that was going to happen to you. They put the fact they didn't even they probably scoffed at when he said that, by the way, Marshall. I'll be honest with you. When he started asking me for like
I'm not gonna lie though, like, you say we knew and all that stuff, but at the same time it's like Maresca, again, inexperienced manager. His experience is Man City. He sees how Man City does things and how their structure is built and how they're organized. And he's thinking these guys want to tell them we want to build a dynasty like Man City, like United, and all this stuff. He's hearing all these things in the interviews and all that stuff, and he's thinking, okay, then we can try to do this. And then he goes in, he wins the top 4. I know it's a horrible Italian accent. We try to do all this and get top 4, and we're back in Champions League. We just won 2 trophies. Okay. And then he sees the director's getting a raise, and he just gets told to fuck off. Like, I understand what you're saying. It's not, to an extent, I don't even disagree with Blueco in that. Like, okay, it's a little too soon. After one season, you want to get a raise. Like, you got to be here a little longer, and then we can renegotiate your contract.
The thing is,
on how you do back-to-back.
Remember how long had the director's been at the football club? You remember at the time?
3 years at the time, 2.5 years at the time.
Yeah. So
That's
the
also
argument
really
they
soon.
right. So the argument would probably be that from their perspective, they've been there for 3 years. We were 12th when they sort of basically come. Yeah, when they came in, and now we're 4th. Right? They kind of like whatever they've been doing in transfer has clearly helped them in trying to obviously improve the team. That would be their argument at the very least. But I think the issue with Maresca is that he got us 4th place. Yes, he won us the Club World Cup, right? But from their thing, remember, they don't believe the manager has that much of an effect on the team. If you believe
they learned that the hard way,
right? So that's one thing.
Yeah.
And so, if that's what you believe, then why are you going to give the manager a raise? You're not giving him a raise.
Yeah, if that's your perspective, of course.
Exactly. So, that was never happening.
Yeah, I think, yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, I think unless City came in, I think he was just going to get on and do whatever. But as soon as he saw an opportunity, and it makes sense. Like, it's not like, I don't think City back away even if he doesn't make top 4. I think because he knows the system, he's worked under Pep. Pep probably personally even recommended him, right? Because Arteta's not available and all that stuff. then they're gonna listen to Pep because Pep gave him everything at City. You know, so I think that job was gonna come regardless. But what annoyed me is to the fact that, like, you know, even because I think, Ahmed, if me or you in that situation, I think you could see why we would do it, right? Like, it makes sense. You could see it. Personally, I'm a Chelsea fan. You're a Chelsea fan. I wouldn't snake Chelsea out like that. I would try to find a way to get until the end of the season, but he didn't. And at the end,
he decided to go on holiday, man. That's the difference, though. He said, "I'm gonna go on holiday. I'll get City's gonna pay me. He's gonna do whatever they need to do, and then I'm gonna think." The thing is, though, I'm gonna be honest now. He has got an insurmountable pressure on him now at City.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If he don't produce anything in his first season at City, bro, good luck to him, man. He can't even go. I'm not even joking. I don't think he can even go on a losing streak at City. I'm gonna go as far as that and saying that, bro.
Oh, and guess what? Stamford Bridge is gonna be a very hostile environment for him, as it should be. As it should be.
I just, you know, my opinion on him is that I don't know if his tactics, Chelsea, his tactics, against the big teams always worked, but against the smaller teams, bro, it was very tough. It was a very tough going, and we can obviously blame part of that at Chelsea because of the type of players we had, which I think is a good discussion point to have.
Factor, yeah,
plays a factor. But at the same time, his tactics also were not that very helpful either.
Yeah, understood. All right, let's move past this topic. Let's get into something really quick, and then move on to Enzo Fernandez. there's some lovely news that we already know about Enzo Fernandez. But before we move on to Enzo Fernandez, guys, smash up that like, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. Let's talk about a little bit of the preseason going on. So Alonso is not expected to be at Cobham, though, for a few more days. The first crop of players reporting to preseason training, those not involved in the national teams, will begin next week. That was as of June 30th. We'll start seeing players show up in the next coming days. Chelsea players to report to preseason training July 9th. That includes players like, not Chalobah, actually, he's at England. That includes players like Hato, who potentially... No, I think Hato is still going to be on holiday. He's got the 2 weeks. That's going to be players like João Pedro. That's going to be players like Cole Palmer. It's going to be players like Moises Caicedo's probably going to be there by now, or at least in another week. You guys know Palestra is going to be there. Garnacho, Gittins, you guys' favorite players. Liam Delap, he's going to be there.
But we keep saying this, but like again, these guys have how some of these guys have not been sold is a mystery to me, bro. You have to be honest.
Axel's gonna be there.
How Bisasi has not been sold is like a myth to me right now. This guy should be the easiest sell we have, by the way, out of all of those bomb squads. Considering the season what he had at West Ham, and we cannot sell him yet. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I know. But I'm getting antsy about it too because of the players we are linked to selling, and that's where I'm like, okay, this is getting annoying now. Like, can we
what are we gonna do? What is Alonso gonna do? Valencia Badesho, with all due respect. Listen, I know Badesho is one of my guys that I used to it, but what is he gonna do? He's injured 90% of the season. Fofana is broken. Is a broken toy, with all due respect. Yeah, Tosin just needs to leave. You know what I mean? Tosin just needs to leave, man. That's what it is. It's comes down to. What is he gonna do with these guys?
I don't know, and that's the thing. Like, there's no way. No. That was trolling. Surely, I could tell I was trolling. There's no Garnation. There's no.
I've never said Garnation.
I don't think he ever said that. Actually,
please. I've never said Garnation ever.
But in terms of the preseason, listen, there's going to be players coming in and not... Listen, at the end of the day, you guys already know. I'm not going to get too crazy about it until the transfer window is officially closed, right? And then we can analyze it all. But I got to admit, I'm a little bit now getting a little on edge because I'm seeing some of the players that are linked to sales, and it's like, okay, when are the other guys going to leave? Because they're... So far, Marshall, we haven't sold anyone except for crucial players.
We have to also be honest, yeah. Listen, I know listen, I'm not saying we should be spending that. But I understand we cannot spend that. I'm not one of those idiots that's gonna cry about that.
I'm really
At the same time, Spurs have guys. They've strengthened quite a bit, and they're looking to strengthen even further, splash even more cash. Okay,
yeah,
that should be worrying to you. Like, listen, I don't really deserve his manager. He's a very good bottle job, but at the same time, I'm a little bit worried. You know, United may not have spent any money yet. Only spent on Edison so far. You know,
yes.
City, I don't know what's gonna happen with them personally. Maresca and everything under that. Who is the other team? Arsenal, no signing so far. This year, if I'm not mistaken, they just sold what's his name from Belgium, Trossard, but like again, a lot of these guys have not made stuff happen yet, and that is the one thing. That's the one thing that worries me, bro. Even the smaller teams aren't getting too active right now. I can't believe
EPL turf is going into the death note because he asked.
Listen, you know, EPL turf is not far off the worry that I have. Like, listen, Alonso, I don't know what Alonso's gonna give us. I'm just hoping he can do something like he did last time. But at the same time, bro, I am very worried. Yeah, in terms of even some of the links I'm seeing today. Yeah, like that brother from Las Palmas. Like, is that really a Chelsea type signing?
Rayo Vallecano, you mean?
Rayo Vallecano, sorry. Is that a Chelsea? Like, I hate to say it like that, but I'm gonna be honest. Is that a Chelsea type signing? You know, I mean, even like with all due respect, obviously, but like, I'm just what Alonso
wants, you know.
Yeah, but like I understand that you can want it, but like we also have to understand that the type of club we're going to either. Like, I looked at Xhaka when I heard all into Xhaka, a lot of people were like, oh, that's a great signing. In my head, I'm thinking that's not a great signing. Like, if we have to spend 20 million on this guy and he's just gonna help us for 1 season or 2 seasons, that is, for me, why not look for someone like, why not just get Marquinhos then? He's on a free, isn't he? He's got 1 year left. You might as well bring him in for a season if that's the game we're trying to play.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I just think for me, some of these signings, barring the Palestra one is very good reason. I'm very happy about that personally. But like some of these other ones though, they're looking spooky, bro. And that's not even including the other midfield targets that we're literally trying to get in. We're trying to get another attacker, allegedly. So, you know, I'm thinking, I'm looking at some of these alleged signings, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, Jeff. I don't know if I'm ready to see what the new look Chelsea is going to look like. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I
want to be positive, you know. I actually want to be positive. But there's no positivity right now from this nation guy right now. Like, I think you know, Marshall. I think he saw the message that I sent on WhatsApp to our group here that I have been offered a season ticket, guys, for this season. So I can just go watch.
You're actually going to out yourself like this.
I don't mind outing myself like this.
All right, and go ahead and do that while I grab another energy drink.
Yeah, listen, guys. I've been offered a season ticket this season. I've said to the guy, just hold on right now. Like put it on hold for me because he's a good mate of mine. I told him to wait a few seconds because I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm willing to spend the British pound sterling on a new season ticket. I'm not sure if I'm willing to. I don't know about you guys. With what I'm seeing so far.
I mean, to be fair to Ahmed, he did, and I've said it myself. Like, honestly, if Ahmed had gotten a season ticket, I would have accused Ahmed of backing Blueco. So I don't blame you either. To be fair,
no man.
If we were under better circumstances and you did that, I would have roasted you. But I can't even roast you because as much as I love Chelsea, I don't want to put more money into Blueco's pockets. And I said I wouldn't anymore.
I saw the Chelsea shit, the new Chelsea kit on a mate of mine. Yeah, he's a good Chelsea fan. It looks disgusting, bro. Disgusting. It don't even have our badge on it. It has some fucking, you know, Americanized badge on it too. Man, it's looking washed. It's looking washed, man.
Go put some work on this list. Look at Go's list here. Jurgensen,
Go is right.
Badiashile, Fofana, Gusto, Disasi. So I don't know about Sar. Sar's harsh. Tosin, Chalobah, Caleb
Sar
Wiley,
probably be alone.
Mino,
I know what he means though.
Santos, Lavia. Those are also harsh ones. Kellyman, Dujon Richards, Neto, Garnacho, Jackson. I really want to keep now. Man, spelled Gui wrong. I mean, yeah, actually, okay. You know what? Okay, maybe this will help you feel a little better, Ahmed. Maybe not, right? I didn't plan to have this segment here, but I think there's a reason why our window kinda is looking a little lackluster at the moment. And that's because you guys know how Chelsea move. I'm trying to find it. You guys already know how Chelsea move. They like to pre-buy players. And, okay, let's see if it cooks. Because at the end of the day, I know you guys hate the youngsters. And I know you guys hate doing all the bullshit with the youth and all that stuff. But when it works out, and when the Estevals of the world and the Palmers of the world end up cooking, you guys are all
Marshall, how many games did Esteval play this season? I'm gonna be a dickhead today. How many games did Esteval play this season?
Okay, go for it.
How many games did Esteval play this season? I'm asking you a question.
I think he's played less than 20 games, yo. And that's because he's been unfit.
And how many goals has he scored?
7?
No. In the
5?
league, I'm talking about. In the league.
In the league, 4.
Is it 4? I thought it was
I
a
don't
2.
know. I'm guessing.
I think it's only 2. I think I know one against Liverpool and one against Crystal Palace is the one I remember.
I swear, I thought he scored more.
Maybe it's to FA Cup, maybe, but like he's only 5 in the
5
league.
in the league, EE. Is
There's
that
no
true?
way. I'm checking.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, Chad.
I'm looking.
Alonso this, Alonso that. No, but the reason, chat, is like, okay.
Yeah, I was right. He scored 2 goals in the league. I was right. Thank you, this man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Crystal Palace and thingy. Okay? And again, the reason why I bring this up, Marshall, is that I'm being a bit of a dickhead right now. Is that, again, Mr. Val has barely played for us this season. Okay? Objectively speaking. All right? Again, he's a wonder kid. Obviously, maybe this season is going to get a few more reps. Maybe he's going to be able to, acclimatize the league. But like that's just one guy that's only, and like we're getting hyped over 2 goals, 2 assists in a certain amount of fixtures. Okay, that's one guy we're talking about. Cole Palmer is not the same brother, man. This is unless he reverts back to something. Yeah, it's something. We're gonna come back to that. Okay, we have a lot of problems. Like maybe João Pedro was hot for a bit of the season. He was that hot and cold, man. You know, he's like getting. He's like sex. He was on it for a few. He had a hard on for a few games. He was going to rounds. And then he had some ED for a good chunk of it, and now he can start shooting again towards the end. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that one.
I like that
That's
one.
gonna be enough.
Okay.
Wild. That was wild.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Basically, he had ED. Let's be real. He had football and the football version of ED. Right? That's what he had. Okay, he couldn't shoot. That's it. And listen,
I'm not doing this. I'm not.
He
doing
has
this.
2 goals.
Esteval had
2
2 goals in the Premier League.
Crystal Palace and Liverpool.
Let him deliver something first. You guys have the patience for Esteval, rightfully so. I agree with it, but you don't have the patience for Jamie Gittins. That's what I'm. God, you know what, chat? We're not going to get into this again. Hold on. Before you go, Ahmed, let me show you what I'm talking about. I think part of the reason we're not doing crazy business this quickly is partially because there's a few amount of Chelsea players that are actually coming to the squad this season. Now, I already had a segment for this. I was going to talk about it next time, but I'm bringing it today. Mike Penders will be part of Chelsea goalkeeping team next season, and Chelsea are convinced that he will be able to compete with Robert Sanchez for the #1 spot next season. So that's coming from The Athletic. Another one, Omega. What Chelsea have in store for Omega, we do not know yet. They have been complicated. It's been complicated somewhat with Nicholas Jackson being handed a second chance. So Bobby Vincent from the FL. What's FL again? Oh, fuck. I don't know. It doesn't remember. But Bobby Vincent, somewhat reliable. Also reporting Omega's in the cards as well. We'll see what happens with him. New pre-signing players Dastan Sapaev and Giovanni Quenda have started training early in Cabo. They're already training. Sapaev, another one, Dastan Sapaev, will take part in the preseason training with Chelsea's first team. 2 players that have been very, very, very hyped up by fans, by Blue Co pundits and all that stuff. Huh?
Who's that the guy that was training?
Giovanni Quenda. Quenda, another one. So you got a left wing back, a new striker, a new goalkeeper, and potentially another new striker there. So I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't agree with it. I still want to bring in other players because I don't think these guys are going to be ready. They're saying Quenda will be ready. And actually, Quenda might be ready because he at least has top flight football experience. Champions League, Sporting, right? And he's a wing back. He could be useful, especially on that left wing back side, right wing back, depending on his preferred position, right? But if by some miracle they actually strike with all of these signings, then you're good to go. Theoretically. That's just a theory. So maybe, and I'm just trying to think outside the box, tinfoil hat theory Marshall right now. I know, I'm sorry. Tinfoil hat theory Marshall talking right now, okay? Maybe that's why they're not making moves, because they already made moves last winter or 2 winters ago, whatever the fuck.
So basically, we're just doing Kids FC. Alonso's not getting into it. Fuck off, bro. Like, listen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Marshall,
Call the police.
right. Marshall, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in terms of signings, yeah? And we'll come back to this next season. Let's go.
It's a big ass hit.
That player, loan. Let's go. Quenda
probably
is going to be in and out of the squad. He's not going to be a starter at all. He's going to be a bench player that they're going to bring on. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You've then got Emeka. Emeka, he's going to be alone again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest. Emeka's another alone waiting to happen. He's definitely not being in this team at all. Barco is the only one, and Quenda that I can see stay in the squad. Our 4 signers that you just mentioned right now.
Mm-hmm. They are.
So
go ahead.
No, that's what I'm saying. So we really got 2 out of 4 that's going to be staying at the club.
And technically, too, I don't know what's going to happen with Mamadou Sarr, but I wouldn't mind Mamadou Sarr being in his first team.
Listen, if the club is serious about rebuild, Mamadou Sarr, what's his name? Mamadou Sarr, obviously, Lekwa, if he comes in, and Cole was your starting back 3. If you're serious about the moving forward, or Achempong going to be the other guy, like if that's the serious about your defensive rebuild, okay, but that's it. But unfortunately, the reality at Chelsea right now is that the thing that is holding us back is that bomb squad. Okay,
yeah.
And again, I come back to
the thing that scares me, Ahmed. Right, like,
and they're not even telling these guys.
You technically have players that you could build off of, but what's worrying me is that today we saw earlier, and I'll show the tweet later on when we get to Chalobah. There was a link that potentially Como are interested in Sarr. And if they put up the money, Chelsea will be like, oh, okay. And there goes the players that you could potentially rebuild off of. But you still have the shit. At some point, you need to replace that position with someone of talent. Or you're telling me you're going to stick with the players that are shit. That's the part that scares me. Because, like, I'm at least willing to give Mamadou Sarr a season to show me, like, okay, you can take the mantle. There's potential there. I've seen good football from you when you played up against Hull, I think it was, when we played Hull. You look good. You just need time to take the next step. Or Achempong even. But, like, brother, you're not... when given the offer, I'm afraid you're going to be willing to sell. Because when given the offer for Andre Santos, it looks like you're being willing to sell. And he's the one that I'm not worried about getting rid of.
EPL Turf is right when he says 2 billion spent and everyone is available. It's true. It's factually true, bro. Yeah. Every summer, bro, there's someone available for a price. We are no different, again, as I've said many a time before, to just being Borussia Dortmund, bro. What is the difference between us and BVB, bro? Or RB Leipzig? There's no difference.
Yeah, what scares me is that we're not selling the bomb squad. We're selling the ones that are still questionable if they have a future for Chelsea. They can help the team.
We're reverting back to the old Roman model, bro, where we used to just sell the academy kids, the good academy kids, yeah, and then the ones that we used to just keep, we used to just send them out on loan or like do something where we would just do stuff like that. That's what we're reverting back to, bro. And that was not good either back then because we saw how it affected us going into the market as well.
Yeah, it's scary. It is scary. So anyone who is nervous about how the transfer window is going, I don't blame you, because especially with the Santos news today, I was like, okay, this is now getting a little scary. But let's actually move on to Enzo Fernandez, because this is going to lead us to also Xhaka, also Santos, all the stuff that we were talking about, right? So Enzo Fernandez rejected by Madrid. I think this is funny, and I think this is glorious that it's happening. Because right now, a lot of people, including myself, are not a big fan of Enzo and his antics. Okay, so let's talk about Enzo. So it started off June 28th, right? From Ben Jacobs, who, I'll be real, Ben Jacobs, you've been in the mud lately. I cannot lie. Like, the reporting has been very bad from Ben Jacobs lately. I might start considering not even talking Ben Jacobs, but he does get some things right, and he does give very detailed tweets on situations, but the accuracy has not been there so far this window, and including last window too. Enzo Fernandez, no movement yet, but Real Madrid are set to make an approach to Chelsea. What I can tell you is that Fernandez wants the move, and personal terms will not be a problem. Jose Mourinho is now driving it. And then Fabrizio Romano, in response, pretty much saying there are zero contacts between Chelsea and Real Madrid for Enzo Fernandez. I stand by my information that there is nothing ongoing between Chelsea and Real Madrid for Enzo Fernandez. I told you in a specific video, and I want to stand by this detail. The Enzo Fernandez situation is not another similar situation to Marc Cucurella. Then Fabrizio also reiterating, all the talks about Enzo Fernandez to Real Madrid are not true. Zero talks, zero negotiations, zero personal terms, zero conversations. My understanding is Manchester City are not in conversations with Enzo Fernandez as well. That was July 3rd, 2 days ago. And then the agent of Javier Pastore was coming out and saying things like this, which I'm going to question, guys, because I did catch the Blue Co transfer, whatever account on a lie when I looked at the video. I want to see the actual tweets and the translation, because some of these accounts are lying to try to get clicks and taking advantage of the fact that people don't know Spanish and don't know fluently and translate and all. So I'm going to take this with a pinch of salt. But apparently, Javier Pastore said the following from Marca. Right now, he is calmly thinking about the national team. He is playing in the World Cup. He is close to reaching the round of 16. He is only thinking about that. While we are looking at possibilities for leaving Chelsea, but there is nothing concrete or confirmed with any club yet. In the next quote, slightly contradicts himself. Enzo Fernandez agent Javier Pastore. Contract renewals talks have stalled. Enzo deserves to earn much more than he currently does, which is probably true, but probably not the wage that you guys are asking for. After the World Cup, we'll meet again with Chelsea. If we still can't reach an agreement, we'll explore other options this summer. Enzo has never said he wants to leave Chelsea, nor has he disrespected the club or anyone associated with it. I don't know about that, Chief. So then Fabrizio Romano came out with this. Real Madrid must sell midfielder before they go for someone. I told you, zero talk, zero personal terms done with Enzo Fernandez. Man City and Enzo is also cold, no conversations. No talks between Man City and Enzo Fernandez at this stage. His future will only be discussed after the World Cup. Ben Jacobs saying that Aurelien Tchouameni could be available for a figure around £70 million. The player wants to stay, but a sale could help raise funds for a potential Enzo Fernandez move, according to Ben Jacobs. Surely Chelsea have to be all over this. And Fabrizio Romano with the Bamba. It came from a pretty much official comunicado from Real Madrid themselves. Real Madrid are not interested in Enzo Fernandez this summer. They said for Olise, we're not in negotiations. For Enzo Fernandez, the statement was not interested in Enzo. Real love Olise. Real love Olise. It's different for Enzo. Breaking. Real Madrid club source have downplayed the likelihood that they sign Enzo Fernandez this summer, according to Mario Cartagena from The Athletic. Kieran Gill also reiterating here, sources have suggested Real's decision to release this statement. Their statement was in response to those interviews conducted at the Argentine Football Association event in Miami. It is embarrassing for Pastore and by association Enzo Fernandez. Now, Nazar Cancela came out new. There is a belief at Stamford Bridge that Xabi Alonso can successfully reintegrate Enzo Fernandez into the squad and help repair relationships with fans through strong performances and results on the pitch, which good luck to you, Xabi Alonso, if you can get that out of Enzo. Chelsea remain confident Enzo Fernandez can be reintegrated into the squad if he stays this summer. Club insiders believe that will be the outcome unless a club comes close to the Chelsea £120 million valuation. They expect Enzo to report for pre-season after an extended break following the World Cup. If no transfer materializes, the expectation is that Enzo will act professionally and fully commit to the club if he remains under contract. And then another thing to just add here, just to debunk some things. Apparently, there was news that Javier Pastore got sacked. The news circulating breaking the dismissal of Javier Pastore as Enzo Fernandez's agents are false. And yeah, chat, I mean, listen, Ahmed, you were here during the saga when the whole Jorginho agent, all this stuff, talking and all that stuff. Big up, I appreciate it. You got to move faster. This game starts at 7. It's not, the game got postponed, chat. If you just tuned in, the game got postponed an hour, so we got time. But yeah, so if you remember, Ahmed, the whole Jorginho fiasco, the agent would always come out, talk about Jorginho, and he wants to go back to Napoli, all this and that, he misses home, all this. And then when asked about it in press conferences, what would Jorginho do? Jorginho would dismiss it. No, I have a contract with Chelsea, he'd be professional. Same thing with Moises Caicedo. I have a contract with Chelsea. It's flattering to hear from these clubs, but right now I'm focused on Chelsea as they are contracting me. We didn't necessarily get that answer from Enzo. We got an I don't know about my future. Right? And I literally reread the quotes the other day because I was looking for something on Enzo. And I reread the quotes, and it's again, I don't know. Right now, I have Premier League games and stuff. We'll see in the future. Not even saying, no, I'm a Chelsea player. Right now I have a contract for whatever 5 years. If things change, we'll see. But I am under a Chelsea contract, whatever. Not dismissing anything. So, listen, we all know he was twerking for Real Madrid. But the way he went about it, the way he's been going about, these rumors, not even dismissing them, he's allowing Javier Pastore to say all these things. It's obvious he's trying to get the move, and now he has egg on his face because, brother, you're not the Olise level midfielder you might think you are, or Toni Kroos level midfielder. You're not. You're not world class. You're not this guy that you think you are, that Real Madrid were going to bend over backwards just to get your signature. But yeah, Ahmed, what do you think on this whole fiasco?
I mean, listen, the Javier Pastore, if you don't know, was the previous PSG sporting director, for context. He's now become an agent. Actually. Yes, he was. He was the previous sporting director.
Before the guy they have now?
Yes, that's correct. Oh, and so, and he was terrible then. Okay, so when I found out that he was his agent, then I was like, I'm not surprised, because he loves to talk, brother. He's a very big, he loves talking.
Oh yeah, we could tell.
Yep, definitely, he's a big talker. So, and I knew that about him back then, back in the PSG days. Unfortunately, he chose the wrong agent to get this deal done. And that's just the reality of the situation. I also think the other thing that's hurt him more than ever is that 160 million for what's his name, Anderson. Yeah. And then who's the other guy that would put a lot of money? Matthias Fernandez.
80 mil for Matthias Fernandez, right?
And then Tonali, who had 1 year gambling, has now gone for 100 million too. Okay, so that's 3 players within the league you're already in by itself that have gone for a total of just I'm rounding up here to 300 million pounds. Okay, basically that's what's happened. There is no way in hell that you basically are not gonna go for minimum 120 million, bro, or 105 million, like the price that we paid you for, essentially.
Oh yeah, EPL Turf. You don't like Enzo. I forgot he doesn't like Enzo. We used to have these arguments. Hey, Turf, I'm on your side now, man. I'm on your side now. By the way, you can defend me now because you remember I defended Enzo a lot. There's people in this chat that think I have an Enzo agenda, but you're the one of the OGs that can say, no, this fraud defended Enzo all the fucking time. So yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But essentially, it's 105 million, at least in this market. Now, whether or not I agree with that, with the player is a different thing, but the market dictates the price. All right? And it seems that Real Madrid don't want to spend that. I know they're trying to spend on defenders, because that's the typical Mourinho way, although he's got to be going in 6 months, bookmark that. I just think, listen, I don't know, Man City clearly not going after because they got Anderson now. I don't think PSG is going after him because they're not lost a single midfielder and they've got Vitinha. And so he's basically stuck here, bro. He's stuck here. And that's not a problem just for him. It's a problem for us, by the way. Because
100%.
again, we if he's gonna play in the back three system of Alonso, or if he's gonna play in that back four system, it's a big issue. It's a big issue for us, bro. Because now we're gonna have to make the system rotate around him again.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, there's other problems associated with keeping him as well, that we'll talk about next. But like, again, my biggest issue with keeping Enzo is that we're keeping a player that already doesn't want to be here. And now we're hearing the whole fiasco, and I forgot to add this in the segment of like Enzo wants to reevaluate where Chelsea stand. Brother, it doesn't matter where Chelsea stands, where their ambitions are. You're professional. You signed a contract. You have to. You either have to pay out your contract or whatever to get out of the club, or figure this out. And brother, you don't got the minerals for that. I'm sorry, bro. Like
Fucking minerals, bro.
let's be honest. So I just don't want a disgruntled player here. Now, I understand when Maresca left, you were upset about it. You down tools. You were saying, what are the club doing? Or you were pretending that he got sacked when you probably knew, like Cucurella, like Gusto, like a lot of these players, that he actually walked away. So you wanted to go out and pretend like he got the sack and all that. And you down tools, right? But he's gone. You were upset about it. Now there's a manager here who is better than Maresca, right? I'll admit that. He is a much better manager than Maresca. He's shown it at Leverkusen, being undefeated, winning them the German treble. He had a shout at Real Madrid, but the players, the egos got too much, and he ended up walking away from it. I think he walked away. I didn't think he'd get sacked, actually. So he got disrespected at Real Madrid, even though he was taking Real Madrid in a good direction. Walked away, and now the Real Madrid project fell apart, very much like how our project fell apart. So, Enzo, at the end of the day, all I can ask is be professional. Understand that this guy speaks Spanish, right? Which you respect. So he understands your language and can speak to you at a personal level. Probably understands what you're going through as a player. And I understand. And chat, at the end of the day, I don't blame Enzo Fernandez to be upset at how the season went. But again, I've said it again. Don't be a fan, be a professional. You are a professional. We could be fans. We're allowed to be fans. We're not professional players. We're not paid by Blue Co. We're not paid by The Athletic or whatever the fuck, right? We're allowed to have our opinions and have subjective thoughts, right? These players are getting paid by the club. They have to respect that badge. Because at the end of the day, if you want to down tools because you don't like Blue Co., the Chelsea fans are going to remember how you disrespected that badge. Because Chelsea, whether Blue Co. stay or go, will remain. Blue Co. can change. Just like Roman can change. We're not Roman Abramovich FC. We're still Chelsea. Even though Roman left and gave us the identity we have right now, Chelsea remains. So, despite ownership, Chelsea will remain. The fans will remember how you acted. And now you have a lot of work to do to regain their trust. Because a lot of those fans, they saw through the antics that you had. They understand. Listen, Enzo Fernandez, you're not the last or the first rock star that we've had in this team. We've had plenty of big name players, much bigger than you, that have caused commotion and have caused ruckus with agents and all that stuff. We've had players who worked with Mino Raiola, who rest his soul, all that jazz. We understand how these agents move, okay? So you ain't the only one. And these fans understand what you're doing. But I mean, Ahmed, I don't know if you want to add anything, because I do want to move on to the next segment because this relates to how Enzo impacts the team. But go ahead and add anything.
I'm just going to be honest. There's nothing else to say at this point. Like, he needs to go. It's quite obvious. Yeah. And, I don't want him in the team. He's going to affect the team, bro, too much now.
I think he should be stripped of his captaincy, to be honest. I think that's the right thing to do.
I'll be honest. I hope there's a new captain, no matter what happens.
I hope so, too. Oh, well. All right, that's a whole Reese thing, but we'll get that another time.
I don't give a shit, man. Reese, man, he needs to either start talking or stop being the silent type. I don't need a silent type captain right now. The silent type captain works, in my personal opinion, a silent and stoic type captain, it works best when your team is on top. Does that make sense? When your team is on top, they understand their roles better. They're not trying to come up together I think that type of captaincy works much more effectively than. But when you're a team that's trying to build, that's trying to become stronger, as we are right now, or in the position that we're in, you do need like a captain that can talk. Unfortunately, that's what you need.
I disagree for different reasons, but we can get into that another time. Let's actually talk about how Enzo staying also affects us, because, ladies and gents, this now affects our transfer window. Because Enzo cannot leave, that means Xhaka is off. All right. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be all about Enzo, but it does affect it a lot, right? So let's go into details as to why, and we'll get into the breakdown of this. So here's what happened, ladies and gents. We were really in for Xhaka. Xhaka was going to happen. It looked like he was going to force a move. It looked like, he was going to come into Casually FC and hit that like button to get us to 50 likes, all that jazz. But it just didn't happen. So Xabi Alonso made it clear during talks to Chelsea that he wanted Granit Xhaka. This has been simmering for a while from their end. Alonso wants influence over transfers. The pursuit of Xhaka will be viewed as early test of that power, according to James Copley. So this is for the Sunderland Echo, a journalist. Okay, so we move on. PYS reporting that apparently it seems that more talks took place today, that was June 29th, between Chelsea and Sunderland about Xhaka. I think Sunderland are trying to act strong publicly, but the reality is that he's still engaging with Chelsea, and that means there could be a deal done here. Then PYS reports later on that Sunderland feels Xhaka is trying to, or Alex Cook reported, and PYS was aggregating, Sunderland feels Xhaka is trying to orchestrate an exit, and he's probably going to end up getting it. They're not very happy. Chelsea will come in and make another offer. Alex Cook is also saying that I was told Sunderland are demanding a fee in excess £30 million, even entertain the sale of Granit Xhaka. Sunderland are furious because they told Chelsea he wasn't for sale, and then Chelsea came back and bidded £8 million anyways. You can't get mad about this, Sunderland, because at the end of the day, you got to test the waters. You got to test your resolve. How serious are you about keeping Xhaka? And they tested the resolve. I mean, you can't blame him. It was a little bit of an insulting bid. I understand that. But at the end of the day, he's 33 years old, and you're asking how much? You paid $12 million for him. Anyways, Chelsea have not given no hope on signing Granit Xhaka despite Sunderland's stance. According to Simon Johnson, he also reported that Chelsea are expected to make another bid for Xhaka because the initial bid was rejected. Chelsea and Sunderland will be in contact on Monday in regards to Xhaka. Xhaka's position is clear. He wants Chelsea, according to Plenty Goal. Then we hear Fabrizio Romano reporting that Chelsea are getting dead serious about Granit Xhaka. Xhaka wants to go back to London and pushing hard to reunite with Xabi Alonso. He also said that Chelsea are yet to give up on Granit Xhaka. Sunderland insists the story is over, whereas Chelsea are still keeping the doors open. Let's see what happens. That was July 3rd. We also heard earlier that the deal remains complicated but still on. New talks are taking place today between Chelsea and Sunderland about Granit Xhaka's move. And then we heard here that Chelsea plan to test Sunderland by submitting a second offer for their captain, Granit Xhaka. Sunderland have insisted he's not for sale, and it is understood that they are viewed the first offer as insulting. Sources are not disclosing how much their second bid is set to be worth at this time, though Chelsea did feel their initial bid was fair and close to Xhaka's value. And I agree, it probably was fair and close to Xhaka. Well, it was close to Xhaka's value, but maybe not fair in the sense that Sunderland were not going to bite on.
Can I tell you something?
Go for it.
What has changed from the transfer window from the last few years? All of our transfer business right now is out in the open about the bid we're about to make, if we're interested, if we're advancing. You know what I mean? Like, Lacroix is clear that nothing's happening. That's why there's nothing going on there. Okay? Yeah. We would know a lot more about Lacroix because if something was happening, but it's clear there's nothing occurring from that aspect at least. Or, I don't know, maybe you disagree with me on that one.
No. I mean, you're pointing it out, and honestly, it's actually very true. Like, we're not doing anything different than what we were doing last time in terms of movement for players and our business being out in the open and the negotiations not getting done like we're asking for to get done. Like,
the thing is, Jack is probably worth like 15 million. Okay, if I was to say out push, yeah, sure. If I wanted to bring him in, 50 million out push. Okay, and we can't even now. It seems Sunderland's been a bit more foolhardy here. I've been a bit bad, but like we couldn't even just hit that first fair if it wouldn't. We know it's worth 50 million. Here's the 50 million. Bish bash bomb. Let's get this down. Okay. And we can't do that for Xhaka, let alone the other brother. What's the other brother's name? The one, the left back that Alonso wants.
Oh,
that's worth
Shabara.
20 million. He's worth 20 million, and we can't even negotiate 20 million down either.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but like when listen, Palacios 21. Yo, how much do you want? 60 million. Let's lock in, boys. Let's lock in. We got you, bro. We got you. Like I don't want to agree with some people, but some people are right when they see that, bro. Like when it comes to an older player, bro, it's so hard for us to negotiate for them. Like we're trying to do something like this, bro.
Yeah. And like the thing is, like, all right, let me continue reading the tweets because this clears up a lot more, right? So Patty, who's proven, like, all right, last season I was questioning Patty's reliability.
That was his first season too. I agree.
Yeah. So this season, it's proven that he's been pretty reliable. So I'm going to start quoting Patty as well. Patty came out with apparently saying that Sunderland got frustrated with the second bid, which was close to £15 million in total. They were expecting £30 million. Chelsea won't pay £30 million for a 34-year-old. He's not even 33, Chad. He's 34, right? We'll be looking into next targets. And then the Sunderland Echo come out with the bid. Likely 10 million to 10 million. 12.5 million with add-ons. Sunderland position remains unchanged, not for sale. So close to 15 million if you put on the add-ons, right? And then we get the report here from Sky Sports, Keith and Seth, that Granit Xhaka is staying at Sunderland. Sunderland refused to sell, plus Xhaka has now reaffirmed his commitment to Sunderland. Granit Xhaka has personally confirmed to Xabi Alonso that he will not go to Chelsea, according to DiMarzio. Then Fabrizio said, Sunderland are refusing to open doors to Granit Xhaka to Chelsea. Alonso keeps dreaming of having Xhaka, but Sunderland, there's zero price. Not £10 million, not £20 million, not £25 million, not £30 million. No, it's not about money. We have to consider the negotiation off as of now. It's not moving. So, for those of you guys saying that, oh, you should have put the 30 million down, you should have paid 30 million. This is what Xabi wants. We got to back the manager. Guys, I'm all for backing the manager. I am, genuinely. But I remember when Tuchel was here, and when Tuchel was saying, oh, we don't need a DM. No, Tuchel, shut the fuck up. We need a DM. You're relying on a injured N'Golo Kante and a Mateo Kovacic and Jorginho to be run down to the ground again. Please, bro. Please. We need another midfield. So you can't always just blindly follow the manager, because I think sometimes the manager can get things wrong. But I do think the manager should have power, especially Xabi in this situation. Not for everything, but for a lot of it, if not the majority of it, because these directors have shown that they just can't get it done right. So Patty also saying here, Chelsea will visit the situation again in the next window. So potentially in January, we might see what happens, because I think a big part of the Xhaka not going anywhere is because of Europe, right? Sunderland are in Europa. They want to take that competition seriously, see if they can push all the way, because last season, I think English club, Arsenal ruined it, but Europa League, Aston Villa won it, and then Conference League was Crystal Palace.
That's correct.
The English teams ended up winning the trophies. What's to stop Sunderland? So they need an important player like Xhaka to take them there, right? So I understand that. Chelsea remain open to revisiting the Xhaka deal, but Sunderland, as of today, believe the situation is over. Always been a difficult deal to do. So again, let's go back to this tweet, right? I'm not paying anything over 20 million for Granit Xhaka. I'm sorry. A 34-year-old Granit Xhaka, I agree with Blueco on this. I'm not paying the overs on this. That chat, I don't know if you knew this, chat, but this would be a record-breaking deal in the Premier League for a player at that age. Do you understand that? That's a side of history I don't want to be on for Chelsea. I'll be real with you. I do respect Granit Xhaka. I think he's a great player, and I think he would have made a good impact in this team. But I'm not paying that price. I'm sorry, this isn't like Maignan. Maignan, we were being cheapsteaks. I understand. We were being cheesesteaks. I understand. We were being cheapo. I get it. This is not like Maignan. This is different. This is Sunderland sticking to the guns. They don't not want to sell the player. It's not us being cheap. I think we were being reasonable with the second bid especially, but they don't want to sell the player. I don't know, Ahmed, if you want to add on to that. But I think another part of it too, Ahmed, is that Because Enzo Fernandez now doesn't want to leave, and he got rejected publicly and humiliated publicly by Real Madrid. Granit Xhaka saw that and said, you know what? I'm not going to push for this move anymore. Now my playing time could be significantly cut out because Enzo Fernandez hasn't left. I think that's a big part of it as well.
I just think fundamentally the problem that I'm always gonna have with this, yeah, is just that we as fans, we realize yeah, Enzo's not helping us. They can see that Enzo's not helping us. We just like listen. I don't care what you have to do. It's time to move on.
And it's also not pretend like there's not other options out there that you could potentially get if you really want that experienced midfield and all that stuff. Like, again, if Xhaka told me, yo, get me Frimpong right wing back, I'd be like, oh my God, please, bro. No. Especially after the season Frimpong had, I'm okay. I don't want to entertain that. You can work with Reece James, you can work with someone else, but like, I can't, like, I want to back the manager, but I can't back the manager on everything because sometimes these managers don't necessarily know. This is Xabi Alonso's first time in the Premier League. He's going to be tested. This is the top echelon of football. He's going to be tested. I know he's a top manager. He's probably going to do a fantastic job. I really back him, and I think Ahmed backs him too. But this is the big leagues now. This you're going up against Arsenal. You're going up against Man City. You're going up against United and all these teams. This is a grueling league, man. I don't know. I don't want to cast out, but at the same time, I'm not going to be blindly believing either. It's not our money. What the hell? Pay and shut up. Sure. But if it doesn't work out, you guys are quick to criticize. Oh, you guys overspend 1 billion, 2 billion pounds on the project and no results. Well, if I don't want to hear it from most of you guys when you say, oh, 2 billion pounds, we're not challenging. Stop bringing up the price then, if it doesn't matter. It matters because these players aren't worth. At the end of the day, if you pay 30 million for Xhaka, let's just say 40 mil or 35, I'll be reasonable. 35 million for Xhaka. That blocks, because of the financial rules that these owners put into, unfortunately, because of the financial rules, right? That means that's going to block us from getting other players. And we need other. Will you admit Europe's most wanted? Are you okay with leaving the left wing the way it is? Are you okay with leaving the center backs the way it is? That's what I'm saying. We have to choose wisely what we spend on and what we sell. That's why me and Ahmed are concerned with the sales, because we're not going to be able to buy more players unless we sell the players. We are on financial restrictions currently. I'm just saying.
Listen, paying 30 million on Xhaka is crazy business. It's just stupidity. You should not be paying 30 million for him. If you're being honest, you might as well just get Emenalo for 50 million, bro, from like Roma. Okay? Yeah. That's it, bro. Like, there's no point. Like, the 30 million gimmick here is too much. Like, we got Thiago Silva on a free, guys, okay? That's one of the reasons why he worked so well and why people love him so much. Because he lasted for 2 seasons and he was effective within said time period. Sometimes when they're of a certain age, guys, paying 30 M's for them is not going to be worth the skin of the rock. We don't know if Derek comes into our team, he's going to work.
This is a fantastic example, by the way, people. And also, yeah, I agree with Ahmed. We don't know if it's going to work. It's not set in stone. I think it's going to, because he's experienced and he's a pretty steady Eddie. You know, he doesn't set too many feet wrong in terms of when he plays. But I will say this. You guys say, oh, don't worry about the money. Okay, so should we pay 130 million, chat, for Morgan Rogers? Should we do that? Are you guys going to be okay with that, even though I think he's a very purple patch player? You think, look at how much trouble we're having selling on Enzo Fernandez, selling on some of these players. You think we should just pay the money? All right. I mean, you guys should go and run football clubs and see how it goes. Play Football Manager on the most hardest difficulty. Show me the stats. Show me how good you guys do. Because I guarantee you, it's not as straightforward as you think it is. So I'm just saying. Sam Fan paid for Garnacho Gittins in the lap too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, pay the price, right? Because the lap was supposed to be an Enzo Fernandez or Enzo Maresca. Oh, he's worked with him before. He knows the player. He knows his strengths and weaknesses, all that stuff. Yeah, well, look what happened. Look what happened. And I'm not even saying he was supposedly a Enzo Maresca signing, but regardless. Who else? We've had other players that other managers have wanted to sign and it hasn't worked out. We've been through this before. We've been through this. Look at Tuchel. Tuchel wanted Romelu Lukaku. Tuchel wanted a striker, and we got him Romelu Lukaku. Look how that worked out. And that's the best example. That's the number one example everyone goes to. It's the extreme, but it's an example. So just sometimes these signings don't work. Sometimes you can't always trust. You can't 100% blindly trust the manager. You can work with him. You can be reasonable. That's what working in a team is. You have the directors for a reason. They gave him a job. It's not like he's going to be like, oh, I'm going to leave if you don't give me 100% of what I want. He's going to be reasonable. So we can find other solutions. I'm sure we will. Any final thoughts on this, Ahmed?
It's nothing much to say. It's just right now, man, it's not looking good, bro. I'll be honest with you, man. Like maybe things can change in a week or so, and hopefully they do. But the signings ain't pointing anything good, bro. It's a pre-season about to start next week, man. And signings, the only signing you've made is Palestra.
Yeah, Palestra. So, yeah, let's see what happens. I mean, the other thing that's concerning about this, all these lack of movements and some of the signings that we're getting here is this one. This one is a big one, and I'm actually worried about this one because I don't want this player to go, and I think he's one of the more better depth pieces that we have that could potentially be a first-team player. Santos. So let's get on with it. Andrew Santos is attracting admirers and isn't on a not for sale list, according to Simon Johnson. This was June 30th. So Simon Johnson actually called us. So boom, we got the bomba from David Ornstein earlier today. Manchester United exploring a deal to sign Andre Santos from Chelsea. No club talks, inquiries by multiple club suitors and 22-year-old agents. United keen, but will depend on the price. Chelsea would not block the move if it suits all parties, according to The Athletic. Chelsea value Andre Santos highly, but would not block a move if it suited all parties. Andre Santos is keen to establish a regular starting place, and that is currently unlikely to happen for Chelsea, especially after Moy committed his future to the bridge. Or to Stamford Bridge. All coming from David Ornstein. Santos has been on United's radar for some time now, but whether a transfer develops will largely depend on the asking price. Ben Jacobs saying that Newcastle United have joined Manchester United in the race for Andre Santos. The midfielder is open to a move search for of a guaranteed starting role. United first made inquiries when Chelsea signed Alejandro Garnacho, and while the Blues were unwilling to sell then, because he was unsellable then, or on the not for sale list then, the deal now looks possible and it might benefit all parties. Why? Because we're desperate for money, chat. Chelsea are believed to value Andre Santos at around £50 million, which I think it should be more, but whatever. Although it is unlikely United will be willing to pay that much, and that's coming from the Daily Mail, so let's take that with a pinch of salt, chat. The message is that Manchester United come and put good money on the table, and they can sign Andre Santos. They called his agent, and they also discussed him with the same agents in February and March. For Alonso, he's not untouchable, according to Fabrizio Romano. Ahmed, you want to talk on this real quick while I run to the restroom?
This is just in general very terrible. Very terrible. Not good at all. Enzo Fernandez is going. We need this guy, bro. We need this guy because he's a talented guy. I feel like he could really develop under the new manager. This could be it as well. Like, I think for me, honestly, he's got a good amount of potential. I think he can get unlocked by the new manager, and I think he can work alongside Caicedo, bro. And I think we saw in Members last season when he was next to Caicedo, they worked very well because they both helped each other out quite well too. And so, unfortunately, man, this is not good news for us, man. Unfortunately, this is not good news to us. Honestly, though, I am very disappointed, man. I'm very disappointed in this news because, for me, again, this again, all it does again, this is show us again that this club is just is now a selling club, bro. That's all it is. We just sell. We don't buy anymore. We just sell. And I just don't know what to say at this point, man. Honestly, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, this is where it starts to scare me a bit because we still have a bomb squad to sell, and as far as I'm aware, Santos isn't a part of that bomb squad. Santos still has like a ceiling in which he can listen. I know Santos didn't have amazing games every single game, but he had some good games, and especially under Rosenior, when Rosenior actually gave him a few more chances to show what he can do, he looked a little better. And with Moises as well, he looked good. He had some good cameos. I know he's had bad performances too, but we can't just focus on just the bad performances. We got to look at it as a whole. And you got to look at some of the good performances as well. So when it comes to Santos, there has been some good performances. He is one of the players that people were saying, Don Carlo, what happened with Brazil? You should have brought him up. Why? Because you didn't have midfield depth. You look at the midfield that you had to bring on a fucking... And Neymar officially retired pretty much at the end of the game. You had to bring a Neymar on a wheelchair on the edge of retirement, because you didn't have any options in the midfield. No legs, no nothing. You had to rely on Casemiro. You had to rely on Bruno G to be your best midfielder. It's just, to me, it's just, I don't know, man. Like, there is a player there that could potentially be captaining Brazil in the future. He was captaining the under-21s for Brazil, and so on and so forth. For me, it's just silly. This is a player that was one of the best players in Ligue 1 when he was in it. Didn't get enough chances. Has to get used to the Premier League, not just preseason. It's a different animal. So doesn't get enough minutes, and all of a sudden now he's up for sale. I don't know. I think we're just desperate to sell anyone, and it's like, oh, someone wants Santos? Okay, sell him. Even though he could be useful for the team next season. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
There's nothing to say at this point, man. I'm just tired, disappointed, right? Yeah, and it's just terrible. It's a terrible thing to be happening right now when you've got a little Argentine snake walking around doing what he's doing, and we're just saying, "Oh, we're just gonna sell this other guy for 50 million." And listen, that does not also include the fact that again, there's another guy we're not even mentioning this from Belgium that does not play 90 minutes for us, bro. He barely plays for us too. Listen, I can rate and respect him, but he's barely played for us as well.
Yeah, it's true. I don't think he's played enough to really merit just being thrown away like this after one season. And like I said, chat, I tell you this all the time. I made this argument with Gittins multiple times. Also, big up Joey. I've made this argument multiple times. I give players that come from a different league 2 seasons to prove me that you can run with the big dogs. This player, you could say he had a preseason with Chelsea. That's not the league. All right, preseason, you're playing AC Milan when they're trying to try out new players. And in preseason, you're playing, some team from the US, some MLS team, Club America, and all these guys. All right, you ain't playing the real dogs. You ain't playing the get nitty gritty with the physicality. You ain't playing with them game in, game out. This is Santos' first season, and he had a UCL ball on top of that as well. And now you want to run this gimmick of he's got to go. He's got to be sold. No. I'm holding the same energy. Give him next season. But these guys are already quick to get rid of him. And it's I don't know about that. He should still be in the untouchable list, in my opinion.
I think we're reaching a point where, again, listen, it's becoming too financial. I keep repeating this about some parts of our team where it's becoming too financial. Again, Santos for me, if we are looking at the guys that we have in our squad in the midfield, one is trying to listen, one is trying to leave. Okay, so he's gone. Let's remove Enzo out of the equation. Lavia barely plays. Okay, so realistically, you've only got 3 guys left. Okay, which is Caicedo, obviously Santos is including that, and Barker. Reece James obviously can play in there, but we don't know if that's going to happen under Thingy or if he's going to play him at centre back. Okay. Because that's the only 2 positions that probably is going to happen for Reece James, right centre back or somewhere else. So realistically, that's what we're kind of down to, essentially. So why we are trying to sell him is beyond me. I even look at the 50 million and I'm like, that is too little.
I agree
in this
with
current
that
market.
Too. The evaluation, I don't think is good.
Yeah, that's also too little as well, right? In my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I feel in this current market, he should be going for 60, 65.
I would even say 70, honestly. Maybe that might be pushing it, but I think he's worth it. I think he's got a lot of potential, and he's got a decent amount of experience for his age. Like, for
I'm not
football,
making that up at
Brazil,
all.
you
Reece
know.
James could possibly play if you play a back three. Reece James can play as a right centre back if possible too. There's multiple positions that he can obviously play. It's not just going to be. We don't know, just as you can say, Jerry, that he's going to play midfield or not. Right? Again, I'm only saying that there's a number of positions he can play. We don't know for certain. It's just going to be midfield. That's not. I think that's just a general thing. I think for me, I already assume Josh is getting sold. I will just tell you that right now, Joey. I think Josh is probably going to get sold. I think probably yes.
They've already come out and said he's untouchable.
They keep saying that, Marshall, but after this season, bro, unless you guarantee him game time, he's not going to be here, bro.
I mean,
remember what happened last season? Last season he barely played, man. And
I don't know.
And you promised him, and like I think also you promised him last season that you'd play him 1 week in, week out, and that didn't happen either. So.
I mean, they also said last season they weren't going to sell him. He's untouchable. And as far as I'm aware, when they say you're untouchable, they say you're untouchable. They don't get touched. Pause. That was with Reece. That was with Levi. That was with all these guys. So I don't think they're going to be sold. I think that's, pushing it a little too much. But I think, if anything, Joey, are you not in the group chat? I swear I sent the link, bro.
Is he not in the Casually FC group chat?
I thought he was in the group chat. Hold on. I'll send you a link in a minute, Joey. Hold up. Give me a minute to find my bearings here. But yeah, like listen, at the end of the day, I'm just nervous that he gets sold. I don't want him to get sold. He's one of the players I think would be good depth for us. Where's my WhatsApp? Here it is. But Joey's right too. Like it's just an evaluation. Like it's the same thing when like we inquire and stuff, right? United are only inquiring. So I don't want to even crash out. I just don't even like the idea that he's untouchable and that he's going for 50.
I don't even think we're just crashing out. I don't think we're crashing out either, yeah. We're just being, I think it's just being on the situation.
Chat, let's get those likes up. We're 71 of you and not even at 50.
Like sending Santos to like a rival, right? In United,
Big up, Joey.
Who they would actively improve. Like it's not even like a Madueke type of like sell.
Hey, let me jump in here because I feel like I only got 15 minutes before I start my watch along, so I just want to make sure I get my point clear because I think that like we're taking this to like way too far of an assumption point where I feel like I have to step in like there's just like this assumption that we're like pushing him out of the door. That part of it is not necessarily true. Okay.
Sure.
Like,
I agree with
if we were to get the valuation, by the way, anyone who's saying 50 million is bullshit. There's only can't come out from one person that reported this today that it was 50 million. Not Ornstein, not Jacobs, not Nazar, not any. Only came from the Manchester United side, and they said in the way that they worded it, they don't even know.
Yeah,
they didn't even know. Chris Wheeler's the only one who said it.
He's not even reliable.
So that 50 million portion, I agree with. He's worth more than 50 million. He's worth as much as Matheus Fernandez, in my opinion. I don't even think Matheus Fernandez is better than him. Point blank and period. But if there is a player on our football club that is in a depth chart problem right now because of us one game a week, it is Andre Santos. And for anybody to say that Reece James is going to play center back this summer after like the conversations behind it being us buying multiple center backs to play this summer, like I just don't believe that. I believe he is a rotational option at right back and midfield. And if we're going to play him in midfield, he's going to be behind Caicedo. Right?
Yep, 100%.
So, like, if we're talking what Andre Santos, what is Andre Santos other than, if you look at the stats, a dual winner, a ball winner. We have already 2 ball winners in Reece James and Caicedo. So, like, why are we acting like if we sold this guy for 60 plus million, why are we acting like this is a big thing?
How many you want to respond to that? I agree with what Joey's saying.
That's not a bad thing. I'd actually say that. I think my only thing is that if Enzo is leaving, right now, potentially. Of course, he's still a possibility. They probably stays. Obviously, the stuff that comes out, right? Again, Lavia is very injury prone. You're only down to like three midfielders, right? And again, that one of them.
Wait. Are we?
It would be what Barco, Caicedo, and Reece James, right? That would be the three. Unless I'm missing anyone else.
If you're just
Lavia.
assuming, so this is assuming that Enzo Fernandez leaves.
I would say if Enzo Fernandez leaves and Lavia remains the same as he is, I'm saying Lavia remains the same as he is.
Sure, that's fine.
Right.
That's fair to say. But I think that's a little. I think that's a little like. Still, if you do it in that manner, I think it's not the right way of thinking.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Sugo actually. Oh my god.
So
That's a good one.
Very
much.
That's okay. That point is not the more relevant.
Yes.
The more relevant position is even if that is the case, right? We're talking about profiles. Like one position is one position, the other position is the other position. You're not mixing the two together. Like I'm talking about if we're looking at it in a position by position standpoint, if Xhaka is the mold of midfielder he wants, it seems like he wants more of a passer in one of these roles, right? So then Caicedo would be the ball winner, and then you have the passer, correct? So why that doesn't, just because Andre is a third or fourth midfielder doesn't make him fit for the role that's necessary if we lose Enzo. Like if we lose Enzo, which by the way, you could sell Lavia too. He's almost a net. He's a net zero to me. Like he doesn't bring it.
Sure.
He does if he doesn't play, he's a net zero. So you could sell him regardless. Like he's not a head that we can rely on, so he can be gone. So like acting like we're selling Andre Santos before Lavia. No, they both can go. And realistically, you get that type of passer, the Angelo Stiller, the Adam Morton. If we sell Enzo, you dropped 100 million on Adam Morton, no question. But right now, if with Enzo, you're talking Enzo, Barco on one side, and then you're talking Reece James, Caicedo, Oswego on another side. If you wanted to get one more pivot player that's a passer like Xhaka, it fills all the roles.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Joey's right. The evaluation is coming from Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mail. When I said I should take it with a pinch of salt, I should have listened to my own advice. Yeah, you got to take it with a pinch of salt. It's coming from Daily Mail, 50 million. I don't know,
we went and evaluated Malo Gusto at 75 million. You think we're just going to say 50 million for Andre Santos after that?
No, that's a good point too, especially after the season he had.
No, it just.
I don't think we're that stupid.
The answer is no. Like,
no
point blank and simple. Yeah. No, I just don't believe all the nonsense. Like, I believe that obviously there was conversations had for him to get more game time.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying not to like lose my head, because it's saying inquired about Manchester United. Yeah. We always inquire about players all the time.
They can inquire all they want, bro. Exactly. But if they put money down, now we're having a different conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, keep Santos over Oswego. To me, they're both third. They're both third. They're both third in that position, regardless. They're both third. They're the third player behind Caicedo. Reece James, and then whoever the fuck you want. That's it. Yeah. It's not this. I don't see this big deal. I see people getting upset over not something that hasn't happened and believing a price that doesn't exist. That's the two things.
And to be honest, considering what happened between the whole Spurs situation with Matheus Fernandez, United are going to inquire because they were looking for a midfield to begin with, right? So they're going to do a bunch of inquiries about who's available, who can be another option. That's
and what did we say? What did we say, Marshall? If the price is right, you can take him.
Exactly.
If it's right for all parties, you can take him. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And no, he can't. He can't play both roles. We saw that. We literally saw him next to Caicedo under Rosenior. Within 5 games, everyone wanted to tear their eyes out.
Yeah,
we saw him next to Caicedo. Like, he can't do that role efficiently enough. It's just that's it.
Yeah. By the way, just FYI, anyone in chat, Reece James is on the bench against Mexico. I just looked at the lineup. Reece James is in the lineup. All right.
I know what that scumbag's about to do to him. Can't wait.
Who knows? We'll see. I do want to move on to just a few more topics before I end the stream because I do want to get to the watch along, and I know Joey, you got to get to the watch along too. Chalobah bidding war, maybe, potentially. It's looking good.
What are we talking about? It's definitely a bidding war.
Como
and Inter are bidding for we're bidding for the best price.
Let's get a chat up to speed. So June 30th from The Athletic, it was reported apparently that Chelsea have rejected a couple of offers from Como for England international Trevor Chalobah. They are prepared to sell the defender for a package worth £35 million. Alfred Padilla, who take with a pinch of salt, Tosin Adarabioyo is also included in Como's list of potential center back signings this summer transfer window. Also on that list are potentially, from Fabrizio Romano reporting here, that Como appreciate Chelsea defender Mamadou Sarr. He's being considered for potential loan. It is currently only an internal conversation. It is unclear if Chelsea would allow a loan. There is interest from several clubs. Latest on Mamadou Sarr from Chelsea is that player is appreciated by Cesc and considering loan deals. It is just an internal conversation at the moment. Mamadou Sarr is a player that Como likes. We have to understand if Chelsea would open doors to a loan or not. Chelsea have not decided anything about him, but I am confirming that there is still interest from several clubs. Now back to Chalobah. Como was the first club to ask about Chalobah and had direct talks. Como thought they were alone, but then Inter stepped in and reached a board agreement with Chalobah's team. Chelsea won 25 million plus 5 million pounds. No bid yet, but anything can happen. The race is on. Chalobah gives priority to Inter Milan. Personal terms advance and then talks with Chelsea over a fee. Como will withdraw from the race mid next week if Chalobah continues to give preference to Inter. Trevor Chalobah is open to joining Inter Milan and waiting for club-to-club talks to take place soon, according to Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio also reporting that Inter Milan are pushing to agree terms with Chalobah. Chalobah is ready to give the green light. An offer is expected to Chelsea. Chelsea would like 35 million pounds, whereas Inter Milan will try for 25 to 26 million with bonuses. And then apparently Como are preparing to send 30 million pound bid to Chelsea for Chalobah. Breaking, this is the latest, is that from Sky Sports and Marzio, is that Como are expected to submit an opening offer to Chelsea for Trevor Chalobah next week. Personal proposal worth 30 million euros plus 5 million add-ons. Hey,
they already
fetch
sent
a good
it,
price?
by the way. They already sent
Did
that
they?
bid, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're waiting to hear if it gets accepted or not.
Well, I'm going to head out
waiting for
to the watch along, yeah? I'm going to my
Go
watch
for it,
along,
go
go
for it.
downstairs.
You're good. You're good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to head out here in about 5 minutes here too. But
no worries, bro.
But yeah, like this is what I expected. I expected like this is the basically what has to happen is it's not really like a monetary thing, like a money thing. We just have too many heads at this football club. I think the last time one of my
I think someone said 38 bodies right now.
38 bodies at the club. So
that's a lot.
So they just need to start tearing like narrowing this squad down to somewhere in the 20s. If they can get, if that my thought process behind that is like if they want all these center backs, we probably want to try to get Jacobo and Ramon off them. Like there's an eventuality.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Ramon off of them. But I just see like that's really what's kind of going down. Like I also see like I wouldn't be surprised also if like we went for Manu Kone because there's a lot of links to Roma right now as well, and he's available. So like that's kind of like the way that I think when it comes to Chelsea. Like when we're linked with a lot of players, like when a team is getting linked to a lot of our players, there's a likelihood that we're gonna go and take one of their players. Like that's just the way it ends up panning out most of the time. So I've been a part of. We got a garage sale of center backs this summer, and like you can even come and haggle. The price starts at 30 million. Everybody come haggle your way to whatever it really comes down to. So like get rid of all of them. As many as you can. As many as you can need to leave this summer. That's all that it comes down to. As many of these center backs as you can get rid of this summer, get rid of them.
Yeah, we got a bloated squad, and we're only playing one game a week currently with the way things are. So players need to go. Obviously, I think these players are going to want to make their exits as well because they're going to want to get playing time. And I'm sure their agents are telling them, listen, Chelsea right now, the competition for starting minutes is really tough considering they're only playing one game a week. And I hope their agents are telling them this.
I think it's more along the lines of their agents are telling them, bro, they're replacing you. Find a new club.
Yeah.
That's kind of the other side of it. It's like they're going to replace you. Find a new club. It's time to find it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to head out, Marshall. Take care, bro.
Big up. Thanks for coming on. Yeah. So, like, again, chat, like I'm saying, there's going to be a lot of moves happening. Hopefully they start happening soon because I know I'm getting a little antsy with some of the links like, hey, what about Tosin? What about Axel? What about Badiashile? And what about Garnacho and all that stuff? Speaking of Garnacho, just to get close to wrapping this up a little bit and getting to the finish line so I can take you guys over to my stream for the watch along and we'll watch there. Guys, let's get that like up. We're so close to 50. If we can get 50 before we go to my watch along, I'll be very happy. I'll do push-ups or something. I don't know. I'll entertain chat in some shape or form. All right? But let's go ahead and get those likes up because we're almost at 40, and I know you guys can get us to 50. You've done it before. All right? Let's talk about Garnacho. Okay? Let's get my thing here. Okay, so I've had this saved for a while now in terms of Garnacho. There's been a few links here and there that have been lingering, but nothing has really happened. And then recently, guys, we got signal. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about it, ladies and gents. Large sections of the squad face an uncertain future with Chelsea needing to sell players in order to reshape the group. Two of the most prominent examples are Garnacho and Delap. We'll talk about Delap in another show, right? Who must improve or risk being moved on? Each player scored only one Premier League goal, and they are widely viewed as having underperformed according to Nazar Kinsella. Now, this was back in May, right? Not much movement since. We hear things from Max apparently that Chelsea is open to listening offers for both Garnacho and Pedro Neto in what will be a summer shakeup at Stamford Bridge. Work ongoing behind the scenes on sales and potential targets. Moving on, more Mirror. This is how, there hasn't been much going on, so we have to talk about Mirror potentially having links, right? As part of the £40 million agreement Manchester United struck with Chelsea with Garnacho last year, 10% of it will be a sell-on clause. So Chelsea also fear potentially not getting much money out of this, right? And then fast forward to June 25th, not too long ago, we're getting links that potentially there remains faith that we could see Garnacho and Jamie Gittins at Chelsea, which scares the fuck out of me. Okay, Ben Jacobs, please don't scare me like this. I don't like this news, all right? Nazar Kinsella is saying potential departures from a part of a widened plan to streamline the Chelsea squad with Benoit Badiashile, Fofana, Arda Barrio, Alejandro Garnacho, and Liam Delap will be facing uncertain futures, okay? Then, same report. Okay, here we go. July 4th. Some reports in Italy that Napoli are interested in Alejandro Garnacho and Chelsea want 40 million euros. If we get 40 million euros, fucking kudos. If we get 40 million euros, I gotta give kudos to Bluco. That's impressive for this guy, for this scrub. 40 million euros. Wow. Alfred Padulla, which, again, let's see what happens with this one. TV dello Sport, okay? Take it with a pinch of salt. Not unreliable, but also not wholly reliable, okay? Alfred Padulla saying, Roma have asked for information around Alejandro Garnacho. Alfred Padulla also saying, AS Roma are considering making a move for Chelsea forward Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea will decide whether to loan him or transfer him. Brother, it better be a fucking transfer. And Roma might be open to any solution. I agree, Pierre. Please leave. Brother, get out of here. We'll talk about Tariq George next. Oh my God. Blueco, whatever you have to do. Go. Please. Get him gone. Please. Let this player leave this club. We need him gone. Please. If you must if you must, get on your knees. Whatever has to happen.
Hey, yo.
Get him gone. We need this player gone. I'll sign a petition. I'll put signatures on things I shouldn't be putting signatures on. Please get this guy gone. Please get him gone. I don't want him at the club next season. He's a liability. He's not good enough to be at Chelsea. Only one Premier League goal all season. We cooked the lap for that. We should be cooking Garnacho for it too, and I think we are as well. But it's not good enough. So please, if these links are true, and I'm really hoping they are true, the sooner we get this player gone, I think that's the sooner that a lot of the fear of Chelsea fans about us selling players that are more important and not prioritizing some of these player sales and this baggage and this bloating that we have, I think that'll get eased as soon as we start seeing some movement on players that are clearly in the bomb squad, clearly don't belong in the first team, and clearly should be heading out the door. So that's another player. And, you know, funny enough, a player that I feel maybe could have helped us last season with the way the season went, and we decided to just get rid of him because of pure profit, is now seeing his way out the door. And that's going to be the final topic of today's show before we go to the watch along, guys. Tariq George, here we go. Tariq George is out the window, Chelsea, ladies and gents, and Chelsea has sold him for a good chunk of money, actually. Fair enough. But I had some Tariq George links for a while now. Nothing was really happening, but here we go. June 24th, we hear from Paddy Boylan of The Athletic that Everton are not expecting to trigger the Tariq George £25 million purchase option, but retain interest in the player and could still attempt to negotiate with Chelsea. June 29th, just in, Everton are progressing in talks to sign Tariq George on a permanent deal. Total package worth in excess of £20 million and could be included this week. Could be concluded this week. Fast forward, later this week, we hear from El Bubble. I don't know what the fuck El Bubble is, but he called it. Everton have reached an agreement with Chelsea this evening for Tariq George. Personal terms being discussed now. And then here we go. The Fabrizio Bamba. Here we go. Tariq George to Everton. Deal sealed. Wow, a little bit of a tongue twister there. Deal has been sealed and done between all parties. £18 million fixed fee with £6 million in add-on and a 15% sell-on clause for Chelsea. Long-term deal with for Tariq George. I'm all for that. That's fantastic. A sell-on clause, 15%? Bro, this player will get sold on. I promise you that, chat. And then we'll be looking at that extra bit of cash, you know?
Feels a kind of weak, bro.
And I think we'll be pretty happy with that extra bit of cash. But breaking, Everton have agreed a deal worth up to £30 million, including add-ons to sign Tariq George. Everton will pay upfront to £24 million plus £6 million in add-ons based on European qualification appearances. Chelsea have included a 15% sell-on clause. So we ended up actually getting the money that we wanted, essentially, originally. All right, and then that's it. That's it for this chat. I know the game's going to start, so I'm going to wrap it up. But my thoughts on this whole Tariq George situation. Listen, it's a shame because I think last season, if we just stopped this whole Garnacho situation, if we just looked at ourselves in the mirror and said, you know what, maybe I don't know football, Paul Winstanley. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with Alejandro fucking Garnacho. And hopefully this is the last time we do any deal like this for very painfully mid players, okay? I don't want to hear about Richarlison next season. I don't want to hear about no dead fucking midfielders or dead center backs next season. Please. Okay? No more. No more bargain deals. No more, oh, but you look at their XG or X defensive stats or expected runs and expected, you know, momentum shifts. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's not beat around the bush. These players weren't good enough. Yet you still signed him when you had a player in Tariq George who was clearly better than Garnacho, clearly has more promise than Garnacho, and now Everton are going for them. David Moyes, thank you. Thank you for showing these fools what they lost out on. Yes, pure profit. You made some money. Great. Great sell-on clause as well. I'm all for it, but it should never happen in the beginning. It shouldn't have happened at the first place. Tariq George should have stayed at this club, should have helped us last season because he's way, 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 way better than Ahmed you know what? I'm all for it. If you don't like Santos, we'll keep him. We'll keep him. I have other players for you. You want Enzo Fernandez? 120 million, Habibi. For you, my friend, 100 million pounds. Good price. All right, Habibi? Thank you. But Tariq George should never left. Tariq George, please. I mean, I wish it never happened. Garnacho should have never been at the club. Tariq George would have gotten some minutes, and he would have stayed at Chelsea. And maybe last season doesn't go as bad as it did. But it is what it is. We are where we are. And yeah, he got sold. We made some extra money. Garnacho's still here, and I hope he goes as well. But chat, that's it for me on this stream. We're going for, this is what, almost 3-hour stream, right? Almost 3 hours. We're still at 2.5. I know the England game is about to start. You guys already know I'm a minute and a half behind and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the next stream. I'm pretty much almost done with it. You guys already know what to do. Smash up the like on your way out. Unfortunately, we didn't get the 50 likes, so chat. Big chat L on that one, especially for you guys that were in here just watching and not hitting that like. Big chat L. Unfortunately, you guys had a delat performance. It is what it is, chat. I know the MVPs. I know I can't blame Pierre. I know I can't blame Coco. I know I can't blame EE and all these other greats that come in here and put in the shift, all right? But the rest of you, chat, are just other Enzo Fernandez snaking me for that like button. It is what it is. It is what it is. But big up, guys. I appreciate you guys still being here regardless. We're going to go on and raid myself over on the next stream for the watch along. I'll start it very shortly. I'm just going to make sure I grab more water as well as everything else I need. We'll get back in here. We'll watch England together because I haven't really watched it with you guys. Smash the like, though, if you haven't done it yet. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Big up to our members who I haven't shouted out in a while. So let me go ahead and actually do that. That's my bad because there's just been too many streams going on and all that fun stuff. So let me actually get on my YouTube studio, find the memberships, and give you guys those proper shout outs you deserve. So guys, there's memberships, 4 different tiers starting at 99p. And if you're a proper casual and higher tier member, we give shout outs at the end of every show. And those shout outs are gonna go out to Adrian, DHL, Master Michael, Deluded Chelsea fan, Banana, V Gaming, and EE. Big up to you guys for being proper casuals, and big up to all our other members as well for their support at any level. It's always appreciated. So thank you guys so much. All right, this is gonna take you to the next stream, chat, where we're gonna chat, we're gonna talk and do the watch along and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna start to give you like a minute or two. I promise you we'll start before the kickoff. But yeah, chat, big up to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Stay casual. We'll see you in a little bit for the watch along of Mexico versus England. Things are about to kick off very soon. All right, peace out. And don't forget, chat.
Good night, guys. Pajita and sleep.
Jerk off.
Oh, but he didn't sleep.
Yeah, and sleep.